T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Good evening, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome back to another Kop-Ish Monday night live show. As always, where we get behind the mic, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. Still hurts. Still feels crap. But we are here. Going to speak about the Man United game, obviously. Going to speak about some transfer talk as well. And a few other subjects that might crop up. Silly question, but how are we doing, boys?
I'm all right, to be honest.
I'll be honest, bro. Since the game, yeah, that's all I can say. Since the game, yeah. I think I was speaking to Drift earlier on. I just said to him, obviously, no one wants to lose a game in any competition. But I think when you lose to your direct, eternal rivals, it makes it worse. It just makes it worse. They are our eternal rivals. No matter how crap they are, and they still are crap, they beat us. And it really, really annoys me. Like, but yeah. It's one of them ones.
What do I always say, guys?
It's one of them ones.
The sun shines and the dogs are some days. Let them have it, man. They're acting like they won the cup. Cool, man. Let them have it.
Well, they're doing what they should do, bro. They're celebrating us winning a quad.
Don't be wrong. Them celebrating, you kind of expect.
I've seen them personally, but
they've got nothing else to play for, innit? So, like,
I don't get how they've done too much, but we'd be doing the exact same in their position. If we had nothing else to play for and they were going for a quad and we derailed their season for a quad, we would do the exact same. We still talk about the 7-0.
What's their final?
Talking about the fact that they've won the cup, like they're going to win the cup. It's like, all right, you know, yeah, then like Chelsea and Man City ain't still in there. So, all right, cool.
But we still talk about the 7-0, and ultimately that 7-0 game didn't really mean anything in the context of the season.
No, league games are different. Because obviously it's
above us in the league, bro. Like we've just been knocked out of the FA Cup, bro. They did that because of our incompetence.
Like I said, when they lose to Man City in the final, then they'll be back to reality.
Let's hope they do lose. But then again, I don't really want Man City win the trophy again either. So.
Do you know, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about Man United. Let them do what they're doing. Do you want to know what I do care about? No. What I do care about is getting revenge when we play against them in the league. We got to play them again in the league, and that's where there can't be mistakes. And that's where we have to win that game. Because in theory, that game is more important in terms of we want the league more than we want the FA Cup. Yes, we wanted to win the FA Cup more than anything in that moment. Yes, that's the only game that mattered. But just, I've got to move past that now. Can't dwell on it. We have to beat them now in the league. But until then, let Man United do their little backflips and rare tear. Because that's the best they're going to get, really. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I said it to Drift earlier on, yeah. We've been finishing above them for how many years now? That we had the one slip up last year where we had a really bad year, and I think didn't we even slip up potentially with the Kabak and Davis, Ben Davis thing, yeah? So 2 out of about 7 seasons, maybe they finished above us, but we've normally been better than them, and we've normally done better than them.
It's more than 2
in the last 7.
I think Klopp's first full season,
or 2, or say 3 in the they finished above us. 3 in the last 7, maybe.
I'm trying to think if it's 4, you know, Matt.
Are we not favored against them? Someone said 3 under Jose too, so it's 3.
All right, so Klopp came. I won't count the 15-16 season because that Klopp didn't have a full season that season. 16-17, we finished 4th. If I'm not wrong, I think Man United might have finished 3rd that season, or even 2nd. 18-19, we finished above them. 19-20, obviously,
we finished above them.
But then 20-21, they finished above us. 21-22, we finished above them. Last season, they finished above us. So it's.
And we're about to finish above them now again.
Yeah, so 4 to them, 3 to them, 4 to us. I think.
Yeah, you might be right because 16-17 they got Europa in it.
So yeah,
I mean, I don't really care how many times they finished ahead of us or whatever. Like, if you don't win anything in that season, then it's not really that big of a deal whether you finished ahead or not, is it?
So what did go wrong then yesterday?
It's just complacency, man. Coupled with a bit of tiredness. Players have been through a lot. Just a few things. Sometimes shit happens, man. You know what I mean? I tell you the reason why I think United are doing too much is because to gloat about winning the game is fine, but to act like you're a good team is the bit where they're doing too much as well. Like, not only have I heard people saying they're going to win the cup, because I've heard them also saying that they don't care if they get a seat in the final, they're going to do what they didn't do last year and stop them winning and all that stuff. I'm just like, how can one game and one win all of a sudden give you the confidence to think that you're a great team? That's the part that I find strange. But again, like I said, let them do it. But whoever finished above or whatever, does it really matter?
Well,
people kind of get on the pot when they say how much they finished above Arsenal recently, and everyone starts going, oh, like teasing them for it. So we shouldn't really start doing that ourselves, like teasing Man United how many times we finished ahead of them or not.
I mean,
unless you win, then
we have kind of been doing that every time we finished above them, is saying how much better we've been than them, and the league shows it though. Because we could all,
one of them comes up to us and tries to like go at us and be like, "You can't be serious, bro. You really trying to talk to me?" But I mean, like in the general conversation, like we don't really talk about how many times we finished above Man United, do we?
We kind of do. That's how we end arguments with them. Like when they start saying stuff, we just be like, "Well, look at our league and look at yours." Like we always.
I mean, I don't really argue with them very often, so maybe it's just me then.
Would we not say there was arrogance yesterday that contributed to us losing that game?
Yeah, definitely.
No, I don't think we were arrogant.
I think Liverpool were a bit arrogant, if I'm being honest. I don't think we were arrogant. I mean, arrogance and complacency. I think there was a bit of both for me. But do you know why I say arrogant? I'm only thinking of one moment here, and this is why I say arrogant. The arrogant part was Diaz doing kick-ups in the corner, got the ball and started doing all that. That's being arrogant. That's not being complacent in that moment. That's arrogance. Because you wouldn't do that if like the game's on the line and like, nah, I just don't think you did that.
I disagree.
Is where maybe not taking your chances and thinking, oh, we'll just get another one. Like, we'll just get another one. Like, that's being complacent. Arrogance for me was that Diaz thing that he did. Remember, this ain't me just saying, oh, he's the only one, but I'm saying that's what stood out for me when I thought of like the arrogance, because that is arrogant, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say
Matt, doing skills game isn't arrogant. That's how we play.
No. Diaz will do skills in the game, bro. But I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you remember this particular bit I'm talking about. The ball gets played to Diaz, and literally he's just going towards the corner flag, Yeah, no one's actually near him, bro. We just started doing like the kicker. I don't know if you remember, and I was like, oh, why is he doing that? That's a bit much.
I don't think it was done the way you're portraying it. Otherwise, I would have remembered it. Like, what you mean? He literally just flicked the ball up and just stood there and started doing kick-ups.
No.
Come on, bro. Like, Klopp wouldn't even let a player do that.
Bro, I'm telling you from now, because that's what I'm saying. Because he don't normally do stuff like that, bro. He'll do it like when I don't know, when he's against the player. But bro, I literally remember this one situation where the ball got played to him and he's going towards the left-hand flag. Yeah, on the TV, we're attacking from left to right, and Diaz is going in the corner, kind of to the corner flag. Bro, my mind started. I don't know does anyone remember this, or am I going mad here?
No,
do you remember it, Cal?
I definitely remember it.
This is what I'm trying to say. And again,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say.
I mean, I think somebody expressing himself with skill isn't arrogant. Arrogant is a bit like you don't even think you have to make effort and stuff. That's arrogant. Like if you don't even think you have to run and you think it, like that's arrogance. Skill football, we're here for that. That's
forms of arrogance, though. But there's different. But there's different forms of what you're saying is true. That's one form of it. But another form of it is like, I'm gonna give you an example. Do you know he was quite arrogant when he played football? And just like an arrogant player, for example, like Balotelli was quite arrogant. He was skillful, but he was kind of arrogant. Like, I'm not saying Diaz is like that. I'm just saying, for me in football, arrogance can take different forms. And like, you can showboat, because showboating, some people might say is a little bit arrogant. Like, it depends how you showboat. If you beat a player or something, someone will just go, "Oh, the skill was crazy, he got cooked." But bro, when no one is near you and you're doing the whole kick-ups thing and going into the corner, I think that you're doing a bit too much there. That's just in my opinion.
I don't think it's arrogant at all. I don't.
But
I don't think
arrogant is a strong word as well. Like
I'm talking about that bit was not like the whole team was arrogant. I'm saying that part in particular.
Confident,
arrogant,
flamboyant. You could call somebody for like doing tricks and stuff. Not arrogant. I think arrogant is definitely the wrong word to call that.
Me personally, I think it was personally. But
arrogance is the type of thing like if somebody says, do you think you're gonna beat Man United? You'd be like, he's stupid. What kind of question is that?
No, but it doesn't have to be that though. That's what I'm saying. But
I'm saying that attitude, that's arrogance. Like doing skill in a game isn't arrogant. Not for me anyway. Like I grew up in that.
If you're doing skill to try and progress the team, I don't think it's a problem. But if you're effectively doing kick-ups just for the sake of it, like I don't think Luis Diaz does that in a game where he doesn't feel as though we've definitely won. I don't think he does that against a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich, an Arsenal, Man City. I don't think he does that. Unless we're like 3-4-0 up, I don't think Luis Diaz does that in that game. Hence why I say that bit, what he did there, to me came across as arrogant. But if I'm going to be, I think the whole of the attack played very arrogantly, especially in the second half.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This is what I watch football for, so I'm not gonna. I think being skillful and doing skills and stuff, I wouldn't call it arrogant.
No, but that has a part. When Diaz does it, he does it with purpose, though, and it's like when he does it. Let me give you an example. Do you know what the difference is between? Do you remember when Diaz got played the ball in his first season, yeah, and he done the Neymar kind of trapped it. He jumps in the air, sticks his foot behind his
against Everton,
yeah. But he done that, and then he went on to do you get what I'm saying? He done that, yeah, cool, sick, and he went on to go and do his thing. It's different if he went and done that, then started doing a 360 roulette and whatever, and then just took it back. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because you kind of do it with purpose. In that moment, correct me if I'm wrong, people, I genuinely thought that was a bit of arrogance from Diaz. And that kind of, even that there kind of seeped into Liverpool a little bit, like you were saying, Carl, in terms of the forward line. I think that's why I say it wasn't all arrogance, but there was definitely complacency there as well. I think it was a bit of both. I think players not taking their chances, like the 5-on-2 break with Cody, Harvey, Nunes.
I wouldn't say
Bradley.
That stuff was arrogant.
That's complacency and just not being killers.
Yeah.
That wasn't arrogance, but the bit that I'm talking about, that Diaz thing in particular, I thought that bit was arrogance. Personally, for me.
Yeah.
What, you think he does that against City when he starts kicking the
nah,
ball? This is what I'm trying to say, people. I don't think he does that against City.
absolutely
I just
not. For me, the thing that really wound me up about it was we didn't lose that game because we got played off the park or we got done by magic and all this. We lost that game because we almost treated it as though it was too easy at some points, and we thought, oh, the goal's just going to come. And look, we can speak about the substitutions as they happened and stuff. Fair enough. I don't agree with the substitutions that were made. I don't agree with what happened on Thursday. But the fact of the matter is, we had so many chances to put that game to bed, even with the substitutions. Then, for me, something needs to be done there.
Yeah, I think for me, and I think it's actually, dare I say it, this season, I know we've scored a lot of goals this season, but a lot of people used to say sometimes like we need to be a bit more clinical. Sometimes we could be a bit wasteful. And that chance we had a 5-on-2, and I think we even had a 4-on-2 maybe as well. I'm not too sure if it's in the same game, but that 5-on-2 there was so alarming to me that, like, how can you not score? Like, one of you has to score that. Like, we can talk about pass, bad execution, but someone has to look at themselves and go, "God, bury this, put the game to bed." You can't have a 5-on-2 breakaway and scupper that. I don't care what team you're facing, bro. The numbers are so, like, we're not talking 3-on-2, 5-on-2.
Yeah.
5. We got 3 extra players.
Yeah.
Bro, I just don't understand. It's like we bottled it. Literally, like I don't know what it is about Old Trafford, man. Don't get me wrong, we've beaten them there before, but I do feel like there's too many times over the years we always play the occasion. And I didn't think we was going to do that yesterday, but somehow we kind of did, because we had allowed Man United to kind of get back into the game. We didn't close off the game. We didn't finish the game. I felt like there were times when we gave them a little bit too much respect. Like Kobe Mino, like, we know how good he is, like very low center of gravity. I know how good he is at conducting play and good at driving with the ball, but someone's also got to look at him and go, "Oh, I'll deal with that. Don't worry about that." Like, even if it was Endo, even if it took Endo McAllister kind of do the pivot thing and just stop him from driving, like, we gave him way too much respect. I felt we allowed Rashford to grow into the game, something that Man City just never did. Or shall I say, he didn't really take his chances against Man City. I know he scored a goal, but he faded. Against us, I kind of felt like he was always there, like he wasn't going anywhere. And then not only that, you got players that haven't really played long. They came back from injury, like Wan-Bissaka's, your Anthony's, whoever, who haven't really played that much. And they look like they have been playing all season. And that's not because they're better than players that we have. It's because we gave them confidence. We didn't shut it down. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, there's times when I think Liverpool need to assert themselves more, and we didn't in that game yesterday.
One thing we don't tend to do, which I think is a fault of all of ours, if I'm going to be honest, we tend not to give credit to the opposition sometimes. We always look at ourselves, because obviously we're a Liverpool channel. Liverpool comes first for us. Do we not have to give Ten Hag some credit for how he set up tactically? Because, again, in the first half, they controlled the first half. We had 2 chances and we stuck them away. One of them was a deflected goal. The other one was a good piece of play, and then Salah finished it. But apart from that, they ran the show in the first half. Do we not have to give Ten Hag and Man United some credit for that?
I don't think they controlled the first half. I don't think it was a game that had control. It was a little bit end to end. I wouldn't say they controlled it. We were kind of being sloppy and, like, we weren't quite at it, more than, like, you know, they were passing us off the park, or they were just pressing us so much we couldn't handle it. And then once we
they kind of did press us to the point we couldn't handle it, bro. Like, we were kicking the ball long and they were winning the ball back quite easily from us.
I think.
But if you don't think they controlled it, I don't think it was controllable.
No. I say that I think they controlled the first 30 minutes of the game, especially because Kobe Mino was looking like the best player in the world, and I kept on, like, saying that, like, we was allowing him too much freedom. And not only that, I kept on saying our phases of play is not working. So our first phase of play, if you watch the way how they pressed us, we couldn't get our build up right. We were taking too long, and then Keller had to play it long rather than build up. Whether it's Virgil gets the ball, Virgil waits for someone to come short. Someone else goes long, gives Virgil an option. We couldn't do none of that. Remember when I said at the start of the stream, they look like the Arsenal that played against us earlier in the season. Like that period there where we literally couldn't move. Literally, there were points in that game, especially the first 30 minutes. After that, once we kind of scored and got used to what they were doing, we made adjustments. But that first 30-minute period, I did not like. And I kept on saying, we can't start games like this because you're letting another team dictate how we are playing. We are Liverpool. We are superior. We should have better tactical now than them because we've been able to negate our way through a season better. Lo and behold, Ten Hag set up correctly to almost a little bit Arsenal-ish, how they done the press, the 4-4-2, and we found it hard. And we can't deny that. We did. In the first 30 minutes, we did find it hard. Pause.
Yeah, and I mean, up until the goal, we didn't really look like we were going to score either. And there was a bit of fortune about the goal as well. It was good play, but there was a bit of fortune about it. And then in the second half, we came out and we looked completely different. But then again, Man United then again made tactical tweaks that we didn't necessarily respond very well to. So I've got to ask the question, barring the 7-0 win, which now seems like an outlier, Ten Hag has pretty much stifled Klopp to an extent in some of the games. Are we approaching these games against teams in the Big Six in an incorrect way, especially when you look at the record this season?
What would you consider the correct way?
Not starting quickly, having to chase games, not reacting tactically, not reacting with the right personnel some of the times.
We've done that against a lot of teams.
But especially
I don't think it's anything to do with the big teams. I just think the big teams are better. So therefore it makes it a bit harder sometimes to come back or to cope with it. Like we've been poor in the first half for about 80% of the games we've played this season. It just seems to be something about we can't get going in the first half. And then that's why we've got the most goals in the second half and like the most points accumulated from coming from behind and all that kind of stuff. So I just think we play like that against loads of teams. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a narrative that I think a lot of people are trying to throw at us, whether rightly or wrong. Obviously, factually, it's right. But like I said, Man City haven't beaten any of the top 6 this season. So I don't necessarily think it's like that big of a deal because nobody's going to turn around and say Man City aren't good or Man City are this or that. They're that. It'll be like, oh, right, is that how it is? Bloody hell, Man City haven't beaten any in the top 6 yet this season. That's mad. Like, and we're just the same. It's sometimes you got to remember as well, yeah, a lot of these teams, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to Man United, but this is a fact. They are inferior to us at the moment. Their league position, how they've been playing, the amount of defeats they've had, just everything. It speaks for itself, right? And when you actually think about it, then it is so much easier for you to get up for it when it's that type of a scenario. So it's not an excuse for the Liverpool players, but for a lot of the players, it's like another game in 3 days. Didn't really have that much time to prepare for it. Klopp's even said himself, he barely ever gets time tactically to make adjustments depending on who we're playing because there's not much time between the games. Whereas Man United had all week to sit down and to train and to prepare for the game. So these things at the top level matter. They're more on it. They've had longer. They've had more chance to implement the game plan. Ten Hag's life and job are on the line with the situation. So he's way more focused and on it. Like there's loads of things that play a role in this stuff. It's just how it goes.
But that stuff's not a surprise though. So why weren't we prepared for all of that? Because if in theory, because what I've been hearing is they've had a week to prepare and we didn't have the week because we had Sparta Prague. But then when I mentioned Sparta Prague, people turn around and say, well, those players needed to play for minutes in their legs and momentum. So we can't kind of have it both ways. Like
tactics and setting up and having a game plan, nothing to do with fitness. We're talking about a game plan for Man United. It's very hard to implement with barely any time to train between the games, whereas Man United had all week. So it's not an excuse like people love to say, this childish, like, oh, it's an excuse. Like, can we not just have a conversation about football without everything being like an excuse if you don't agree with it? These are facts. They had a whole week. We didn't.
We
And
effectively did have a full week, though, Drift, because we didn't really have to do any. We didn't really have to do any prep for that Sparta game. If we're going to be honest, we didn't.
But that's not the point, bro. You still have to play the game. You still have to be a part of the game. Like, it's still a different opposition. You can't think of somebody afterwards till you've got that game out of the way. That's just how it goes. And we don't know what tactics they're going to play until we start playing. We adjusted, we took the lead, and then we were comfortable and we should have won the game. Like, for the first 20, 30 minutes, it was a bit like, bro, what's going on there? Trying to work them out. We worked them out. Then we came back in the game. It is what it is. Like, that happens. Like, I don't think it's that deep.
What don't you think is that deep?
Like, thinking too much into the, like, did we let them play, or did we do this, or what was the tactics? Whether, like, apart from the complacency in the last 20 minutes of the second half, I think we dealt with the game pretty well. Figured out what they were doing, got better, took the lead, was in control in the second half from the beginning of the second half, and really should have just seen the game out. When did they score? Like the 84th minute or something, innit? When they scored the equaliser.
I'm off the top of my head.
Like, it was really close to the end of the game, though, innit? Like, there was like 5 minutes left or something like that when they scored. So up until that, which came from a mistake as well. So up until that point, we were in control of the game. We were winning the game. So
no, we lost control before they scored the goal.
Yeah, but that's going to happen. They're the home team. You know what I mean? Like, they are, and they do have some good individuals. Then, even though they're crap as an overall team, they still have good individuals. They're Man United.
Matt, anything you want to add?
I don't know. I kind of said what I said before, and I'm sticking to it in terms of we lost that game due to complacency, a bit of arrogance in there. But if you have to kind of give a bit of credit to Man United as well, because they kind of implemented a plan of counter-attack, which we knew that they were going to do, but Liverpool just couldn't seem to withstand that in the first 30 minutes. And the way they were playing, like I said, obviously not on the same scale, but like I said, like them first 30 minutes reminded me of the Arsenal game. And like we just couldn't live with them for them first 30 minutes. Like Kobe Mano just running through, him and Rashford like on that left-hand side, Kobe Mano in the inside left channel, was just causing so much problems for Endo McAllister. It was only until when we arguably scored, or maybe like just after 30 minutes, we kind of managed to kind of get hold of the game a bit more. Obviously, second half again, like I think we were in control, but then Man United never gave up, like to their credit. Like, and if I'm being honest, I know people won't like me keep going on about this, but I think Liverpool thought they had the game won at 2-1 and like we could kind of like coast it almost. Like, but that was, in my opinion, it's the FA Cup as well. Like, we know what the FA Cup's about. Like, teams will fight to the death, and Man United being at home, we're never ever gonna just give up like that. And like that's why I'm more annoyed at us. Like, obviously you can lose to anybody, innit? It's the FA Cup, innit? It happens, innit? But Liverpool really shot themselves in the foot, in my opinion, because we had chances to bury the game. Man United, in fact, Man United had some good chances. Well, Kelly had to make some good saves, but yeah, I just think, all in all, one thing we need to correct from this game is what it showed us is that you see when it comes to teams that you know are gonna bring their A game, like a Man United, a Man City, an Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Spurs, you can't keep starting games so badly. And just right, we've been doing it all season. And I said at some point it's going to come back to hurt us, you know. And this could have went another way, but even later on down the line, like I know there's not many games left of the season, but we got to start putting that right. Because against another team could go 2-0 up and then we're in problems. I'm not trying to say we can't come back, but we can't keep doing that. That's not a good tactic to have, or that's not a good attitude to have, to just think, because we score goals in the later part of the game, we're going to be all right. I know we're capable of doing it, but don't rely on that. I don't want to be rely FC, bro. I want to be assertive and dominate the game as much as we can and be more predatory and take our chances. And if we do that, like Drew said, we're still an amazing team. Not many teams can live with us. And that's why we're still in the title race. That's why we're still in Europa. And that's why we want to Carabao Cup.
Is this not like going over the top in terms of like, and I mean this as a fan base. Everybody thought we were capable of winning a quadruple. Everybody's really happy with how well we're doing. We're top of the league, etc., etc. Through to the next round in the thing. We've already got a cup in the bag. One defeat is now like making everybody be so like questioning of a lot of stuff. Is this not just an overreaction? I know losing to Man United is jarring because it's Man United, and that's what hurts me more is the opposition. Like I can't be bothered to go into all the other stuff. I've already done a review to explain how I feel about it from a quadruple level and all that kind of stuff. But is this not like crazy overreaction because we've lost a game? Like, why did everybody have the confidence to think that we could win 4 trophies and then one defeat means everyone's questioning tactics and how we play and all this stuff? Like, to me, this seems like an overreaction.
I don't think the questions about tactics have just started now, though.
So, if we've been questioning tactics but we've been winning, then maybe we should stop questioning tactics.
Not necessarily, because you can win and the tactics not be good. You could win off individual brilliance. You could win off people doing things good despite the tactics. You can win because the tactics were good. Like, so it can be a case of both. Like, we've seen games this season where we've been out tactic, but we've still won the game. So if people are questioning tactics after a loss, I mean, I don't think it's an overreaction. If people were saying this is a crap team or we're a dead team or we're this, that's an overreaction. But to question...
What I was gonna say is, you see the overreaction, yeah. The overreaction, in my opinion, would have been yesterday when everyone was vexed. Yeah, obviously we're still vexed now, but just to quickly just say this, yeah, I'm more looking at yesterday's game and thinking what went wrong, and I'm not over analyzing. But if there's one thing, like I said, I could take from it, is starting the way we start. Like, but we've always said that. That's not like because of the Man United game. While we're saying this. This has been there, like you said, from the start of the season and hasn't changed. Law of averages will tell you what you think that's going to continue for the whole rest of the season. You think you're going to get away with it. That's what I'm saying.
Like if we sit here and say that 8% of the games we've started slow and we've been sluggish in the first half, then yesterday isn't an overreaction. Yesterday is a byproduct of what we've seen all season, but we've got away with it up until now. So isn't that a tactical thing? Isn't that an issue that we need to resolve? And haven't we been getting away with it as opposed to the tactics being so brilliant as to why we're winning games? If we all have the same notion that 80% of the games we played this season, we haven't started well, or the first half has been poor.
I think that's the main takeaway from it. I don't think anyone's really sitting there saying, "Oh my days!" Like the way how the space between the CDM and the centre back has just been wrong, and this is wrong. It's that one thing because we know tactically we're actually good. There's just times when sometimes your tactics are just not as effective when a team can counter what you set out. Yeah, it happens. Arsenal done it to us, unfortunately, where that press that they put on us, in my opinion, is probably the best performance from an away team. So not even this Man United team. The Arsenal team that played against us, yeah, we couldn't move. Literally, we couldn't move. There wasn't even a phase 1 of play for us. It was literally, we had the ball, kick it to Van Dijk. Van Dijk is literally having to just hoof it, bro, because we couldn't work out what to do until later on in the game. That's the only thing I say about our tactics. Literally, the only thing I can really say. But just in terms of general, bro, we are a good team that sets up very well against 99% of our opponents. The only problem that we have, and I think it's an ongoing problem, is for whatever reason, like Jeff even said as well, starting games. I don't understand why we can't start games really well. I just don't get it. Why has it got to be? We're 50. Have you noticed the trend? 15 minutes into a game, a Sky Sports or whoever will bring up a stat and go, Liverpool, they don't really start, but look at the way they it's like, bro, I don't want to keep. I hear the stat. I don't want the stats amazing, but I don't want to have to rely on that all the time. Sometimes you just want to blow a team away in the first 45. Then you can rest. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my take on it. But yeah.
Do we think this result and the manner of the result could hamper how we approach the rest of the season? It could have an effect on the league and the Europa.
Yeah, but it's a positive effect.
I don't think so. I think we move on.
You don't see where there could be any negative effect to it.
The only negative is we're angry we lost because it was Man United. Once you get past that, it shouldn't bother you for the rest. It's just like we weren't going to win the league without losing a game. We weren't going to, you know what I mean? Like going out of a cup can happen. I don't think it'll be negative. I think the boys will brush themselves down and then we move on. It could motivate them even more.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It could motivate us. I don't think Liverpool look back at this game and go, oh my gosh, we're going to crumble from here on now. I think if it was a game that was like a defining moment in our season, then yes. But it wasn't. It was more for them because they're not really doing anything, whereas we are. And we're lucky that we've got other things to play for. So that's why I feel like Liverpool will be annoyed. But the international break is here now. Players can recover from injuries. Because let's keep it apart. I'm not going to do the whole crying thing of injuries. But we just got to keep it real, innit? There are going to be points when we are missing a Trent. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we are missing a Jota. Like, there's certain players, like a Curtis Jones, like, there's certain players that we have just had to just go without for such a long time. We've had to just get used to it and play on. But when these players start getting back fit again, let's see who gets the last laugh. And I genuinely think it will be Liverpool. Because if these players, like I think, can get back to how at least close to what they were before they got injured, so to speak, I think the rest of the other teams should be very, very concerned, knowing that we've done all of this without some key players.
In particular, Man United game away in the league, could there be any chance that the players look at that game yesterday and go, we're going to, like, obviously subconsciously they play the occasion again? Or does it go the other way now where they're like, we shouldn't have lost that game, we go and we kick their ass this time? Or are we going to see another them crap in the bed almost because it's Old Trafford as opposed to actually the team we're playing?
Who knows, man? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what the squad's like when we get there. Man United were quite fortunate, as in they had quite a few of their players back that are their better players or help them implement them tactics. It's not lucky because you don't want any player to be injured, but it's still very fortunate for them, you know what I mean? Because Wan-Bissaka and Højlund definitely helped them to implement something a lot better than they've been able to in the past. For example, I think they could have got a result against City if both those two players had been available. So I think it will be something where we just look at it when we go into that game and we just think, you know what? We know we're better than them. Rackman lost to beat Lennox Lewis. Everybody knew that he wasn't the better fighter, but he knocked him out. You just got to roll with the punches. What happened in the rematch? Absolutely sparked him because he was the better fighter and he'd learned from the mistake he made in the first fight. So we just got to hope we do the same. We know we are the better team. I think we're the better team for a lot larger period of the game than they were. They've ended up with a victory so they can talk about the win. That's cool. But we were still the better team for more than 90 minutes than they were. So we just implement that tactic without the complacency and hopefully we win. If we both play our A game, we win the game. Like, that's just the fact that we both implement our A game and we play as well as we can, we win the game. So we just got to make sure that we're as up for it as possible when we play them.
We know that though, Drift, because let's be real, if we play our A game against every team in the world, there's only two teams that can really, that I would say can still beat us on our A game. That's all due respect to Arsenal. I still think on our A game and their A game, we beat Arsenal. I think Man City and Real Madrid are the only two teams in world football. If we play our A game, they could still beat us. That's not the problem though. How often have we played our A game this season? Especially against these teams.
I mean, again, like I said, we've got a lot going on, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really not bothered about it being out of the thing in terms of the extra games. I mean, you asked earlier on whether, and shout out to everyone who watched my review because I broke this down in a little bit more detail, but the weekend of the 20th of April is when the FA Cup semi-finals happening, right? We have a game against Fulham that weekend, which would have been cancelled and then obviously rescheduled, right? So if you think about the way the rescheduling works, it wouldn't be able to be rescheduled before. We got Brighton on the 31st, and then obviously that's just coming back off the international break. Then we got Sheffield on the 4th. We got Man United in the league on the 7th. Then we got Atalanta on the 11th. Then we got Crystal Palace on the 14th. Then we got Atalanta on the 18th. And then that weekend there, the 20th. So there's no way we could have fit the game in before that. You just heard me reel off every 3 games. There's a game up to that point, right? So that game would have to be rescheduled. So if I let you know now, so we got a week between that game and West Ham. Then after West Ham, we got a week, and then we got Tottenham. And then after Tottenham, we got a week, and then we got Villa. And then after Villa, we got a week, and there's Wolves. And then the season's over. But within those weeks, if we progress in the Europa League, there'll be a game in the middle of all those weeks, right? If we get through every round in the Europa League, which we're hoping we do. So let's go on that premise. So where the fuck does that Fulham game get put in, guys? So even though I don't want to be out, even though I hate the fact that we lost to Man United, this is what I was trying to say when I was saying try and look at positives in the negative. Not having to reschedule that Fulham game, and that Fulham game getting like randomly dropped somewhere in here where like we might have like a semi-final Europa League game away, then 2 days later we got faced Fulham away, and then because it's squeezed into this mad tight schedule, and we've already seen our squad being stretched this season, what if that completely derailed us, or we dropped points in that Fulham game because of the way things are going, and we want to win the league more than we want to win anything else? So yes, we want to win the FA Cup. It would have been nice, but let's just get over this romanticizing the quad part, which is what I think most people are angry about, that we can't do that now, and we don't have that to like have on the resume and see Klopp off with, which would have been amazing, by the way. Would have been the best way ever to finish a season. But if we just get over that, which is pretty much impossible, that's why it's never been done before. Let's just try and look at some of the positives, that we don't have a rescheduled game now, getting thrown right in the middle with a mix of an already crazy hectic schedule. Because if we lose away to Fulham and go and ask Arsenal and go and ask Tottenham what Fulham away is like, it's a very difficult game, so we can't even mug that game off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think personally that we should be looking past some of the positives now it's over. Like, we're out now.
Are you just looking at one way of looking at it, though, Drift? Because I could say we reschedule that game, we win the FA Cup semi-final, and we beat Fulham. It's one extra game.
Yeah, but there's a lot of ifs and buts in what you're saying, because that still has to be.
But there's ifs and buts on your side as well. So that's what I'm saying. You're only looking at one side.
It would be rescheduled, bro, and it would be put in the middle of a hectic schedule.
No, I know
so it would.
But it's one extra game. Who's to say we wouldn't have won the FA Cup semi-final? And if it was Coventry as well, who's to say we couldn't have rotated in that game heavily to rest certain players as well? We still got to play Fulham regardless, so it was going to happen anyway.
Prepare for Fulham, and we also get to have it in a time period that makes sense, instead of it being squeezed in somewhere where like we might have to play 4 games in 10 days in a run-in to a league title and maybe even the Europa League, and it could affect one of the results. Because that's what I think people forget. When you squeeze football matches one after the other, you might drop points in one of those games because you're tired, you take your eye off the ball, whatever it may be. And then if it's in the league, that's points drop that we can't drop, right? Because we've already established we pretty much have to win all our games if we want to win the league. So like a draw at Fulham, because it was squeezed in between 2 games and it was all tense and we had a lot of flying, we had to rotate the squad and all that stuff. That could easily happen. We could easily draw that game or something like that, and it affect the league.
But it's a 50-50, Joe Drift, because we could still win that as well, bro.
We could, but realistically, it's very difficult to do this. It's been proven in the past. When teams have multiple fixtures piled up, it becomes very difficult to win every single game. So I'm just saying, I'm glad we ain't got to do all that fixture reshuffling and all that stuff that would have happened because of it. So I'm trying to see the positive in the negative.
I hear what you're saying. I look at it as, obviously, we're going to look at that now. Obviously, that's hindsight because we lost the game. But I think we don't think about any type of... obviously, we think of congestion, but if we win that, we don't even think about that. And because we saw, remember, Jeff, we saw the... Did we see the... Was it me and Jeff?
Yeah, we did. We saw the draw shot.
We saw Coventry and was like, bro. Like,
yeah, but we don't know.
No, I know, but bro, I'm just saying. Put it this, yeah. I get what you're saying in terms of, yeah, you play one less game, you try and take your positives, which is true, but I just think that regardless of that, you just look at that Man United team and think we should have beat them, man. We should have just beat them.
It's not because obviously if you get to the final, then it's 2 less games. But it's not even necessarily the games themselves. It's more the rescheduling and how it will all just cram in.
No, I know.
But harder for you to be successful because everything's
but when the momentum, I know what you're saying. I'm just talking about, you see, when the momentum is high, like you're winning games, like say we would have beat Man United, yeah, bro. I know we would probably we would sit down at some point and be like, bro, you know what, yeah, hey, we won all these games, yeah, but bro, the amount of games we're playing is crazy, and we know that has happened before in that quad chasing season where we probably look back at it now, hindsight, and go, I think there was just too many games that maybe we just couldn't, you know what I mean? It's a lot to do that, and maybe the same thing is happening here. However, I don't want to, in a weird way, I don't want to think like that. I just want to think, you know what, yeah? We lost the game. Like you said, Man United is still dead. They're not going to change overnight. All we got to do now, win our next game. And not only that, you see when we play them again, Liverpool, I beg you, please, just play Man United like they are Man United. Just play Man United like they are Man United. Don't overthink things. So when they put Wan-Bissaka at left back, I don't want to see no tactical, like, just do what you got to do and just make it work because we are better than them. We just didn't show it because we were complacent, in my opinion, and a bit arrogant, which is, again, it's on us. It's not like Man United are so great that they are better than us. They are not better than us. We already know this. That's what Man United fans are gassed, rightly so. But we're better than them, and we will show it, I think, in when we play against them. I hope we do it.
Make us start questioning whether, like, the guys are going to be deflated and start losing games or... I know that even Jamut just said winning breeds confidence. Of course it does. That's that's like common sense as well. Like everybody kind of knows that. But at the same time, one loss with all the other wins we should still be confident, right? You can't, like, if one loss derails you, then you're kind of weak. You know what I'm saying? That you can't.
Not saying that we're gonna lose, but it is something we have to look into. I mean, we've seen it happen with other teams. We've seen it happen with us, where one game offsets us. Happened with Arsenal. Really? Last season happened with Arsenal. They got knocked out of the Europa and it offset their season. The season before,
but that's Arsenal. He was weak season. Let's talk about us under Klopp. We normally go on winning runs after a defeat.
Well, not every season we haven't. Like what we established
majority
earlier,
time
like,
we do bounce back.
But it can happen, though.
We do bounce back majority.
Yeah, but this isn't the same as every season, as you said. How many injuries have we had? How many times have we gone to the well? And how many, like, this has been the first season under Klopp, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In seasons where we've been good, where we started so many games so slowly. Usually we're the team that come out and batters teams.
But do you think this Man United team is going to offset us going forward?
No, I'm just saying I don't think we can sit here and just go, yeah, we're just going to shrug that one off. Like, I think the manner in way we lost that game could potentially have an effect on those players.
Bro,
international, it doesn't, but it can.
International break is there for a reason. I don't say there for a reason, but international break. Sorry, just quickly, international break is there. Players obviously they take their mind and feel whatever, but bro, we've shown this season more. I think we're the surprise package of the season because no one expected Liverpool to be in a title race. Very, very few people did. Yeah, everyone just said top 4. Liverpool maybe second, maybe third, or whatever. But no one didn't really think we'll be in title contention. Not really. Yeah, the players have shown that the adversity that's been there, we've always been able to bounce back. Look at the Spurs game. Look how we were robbed of that game. Look at the Arsenal game. That Arsenal game, if I'm being honest, I hate to say it, they cooked us. They absolutely cooked us, and we bounced back. I'm not trying to say it's definitive, but I'm going to sit here like a drift and think there's a good, like, 80% chance, in my opinion, that we go back to winning ways. We might not win great, but we go back to winning ways, and it's like you don't even see if there's any bleeding. It was a scratch. I do think this was a scratch because this wasn't a heavy defeat. It was a more annoying defeat because of the team of who it is and how we lost. That's the difference, in my opinion.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying I think it's borderline arrogant to say that we're definitely going to be fine. Like, this could have an effect on the players. So for us to think that this might not have an effect at all, I think it's kind of crazy. This could have an effect on the players. In the same way it could galvanize Manchester United season because of how they won. It could make a few of the players look at themselves and go, right, this is a lot tougher than we thought. Like, can we do this? Like, there are players in the team who might think like that. This is the first time that some of these players are going for the league.
Anything though, like
But
that's literally
saying, like, so exactly. So I'm saying what I'm saying can't be that crazy if there's a probability of there being an issue going forward. Like in the same way it could galvanize Man United. I'm not saying it's gonna, like, I'm saying there's more probability we go on and win games, but to say that we're just gonna sweep this off and sweep this under the rug. Like, I'm not saying we're even going to lose. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even saying we're going to lose, but we could draw a couple games off the back of this.
Yeah, that's possible. But what me and Drift are saying is there's more chance of us potentially winning because the evidence has even showed this season. What I think people are doing, this is where I have to agree with Drift, because it's like people are overreacting. Yes, we lost. I'm mad we lost, yeah. But it's how we lost is why I was so mad. Not only that, when I look at how we lost, I can't really sit here and say that's going to happen all the time. I'm saying in this particular game, we were arrogant and in my opinion, we were a bit arrogant and we were a bit complacent in this particular game. We didn't do that against Man City. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So I think the players now will rejuvenate themselves, recalculate whatever they need to do on this time of duty, come back. And I can't definitively sit here because we could lose to Brighton, like you said, but I just don't believe that. Why? That's not me being arrogant myself. It's more like me believing in the team that's shown me so far we are about that life. Like, we can't sit here after this Man United game and start thinking, bro, the players are going to be asking questions, because it's different if we was in bad run. If you're in bad run, yeah, and you're getting peppered left, right, and center, yeah, that's when you could sit there, in my opinion, and go, you know what? This could be the one that the season's just the wheels are falling off. But I don't think it's that. It will work differently for Man United only because of they have been poor this season. The expectations are so bad, and they've just beaten a team who's challenging for the league. So that will definitely help them. But we are in a different league to them.
Once again,
we are a different mindset. We are mentality monsters.
Once again, I've not said we're going to lose games or slip up. I'm just asking the question.
No, I never said that. But
no, but that's what I'm saying.
He could have beat Man United, and the Brighton game still is a 50-50. They're a good team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing to do with the Man U defeat.
Oh, I'm saying I think we bounce back. I'm just asking a question because there has been evidence of other teams doing it, and we've got new players in the team who've never experienced a league challenging campaign. Could there be a potential for that to creep in? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm asking a question.
We bounce back from a lot of season.
All right,
that
so
were quite. The Spurs game was demoralizing the way it happened. The Arsenal game was demoralizing the way it happened, and we bounced back. So we just hope that we bounce back again. Like, I mean, because it's crazy. Like, I've seen a lot of people in the chat that are talking about the thing, and like they seem like they're quite like, you know, they're questioning the players and the ability and what could happen, and that's fine. It's natural as well. I get it. PTSD starts kicking in or whatever. But what's crazy is I was the one who was asking you, man, to stop dragging me on the quad train. And I get it. It was fun and it was a cool thing, and it would have been amazing if we'd done it. And I was always told, like, oh, stop it, Drift. Why are you being like that? Rare. And I let everyone drag me on the train. I never believed in it. But I went along with the ride because we're all.
What tune have I got that suggests we're not going to bounce back? When have I said that? Come on, people, man. Bloody hell.
But from the way everyone's acting, why has one defeat all of a sudden knocked everybody's belief? You can't go from believing we can win a quad to losing one game and now thinking it's going to fall apart. I don't understand.
I don't think many people are saying that, but I do think they're valid questions to ask.
No, but
bro,
no one's
a
saying.
lot of people that I've seen in the chat and on Twitter since yesterday and social media really are letting this bother them way more than we need to.
I'm analyzing the chat, and more people are saying we're going to be fine this season than not.
No, but we're not even just talking about right now. I've been watching the chat for the whole time we've been live for 54 minutes, and most people who are like in the camp of like it was a bad game are saying things like they're worried about if it's going to affect people and rare. Yesterday when people saying, "Oh, attack is this and rare," and like there's just so many things about the team, and it's like, well, why were you not believing we could win a quad then if you think there's so many issues?
But in the chat today, that hasn't been the narrative.
Bro, I've seen a lot of people in the chat saying that they think it will affect us. What if we've messed this up? What about this? It doesn't matter about this. It doesn't matter about that. You what, sorry?
You're seeing more people saying that you think it's going to affect us going forward.
No, I don't care about how many people are saying it. I'm saying to those people who are saying it, how do you go from believing in the quad to them being that much on the other side? I'm just confused how, forget the percentage, guys. I don't care about the percent. I never said more people believe or I don't care about percent. I'm just saying to the people who are believing that, and I've seen a lot of them who are saying that, why have you gone from thinking we can win a quad to now believing there's so many issues in one game? I'm very confused. So for those people who I'm talking to, I just want you to explain it to me, because it's weird to have one game disrupt your entire belief. Like, I'm just confused by that. But
anything you want to add, Matt?
No, I'm kind of agree with Drift on this one. I don't like. There's no guarantees that we're gonna win our next game. There's no guarantees, but me and Drift are literally just sitting here saying we are of the. I'm not saying you're not, by the way, but me and Drift, because you asked the question, because this is the whole point. We're supposed to have a discussion. Me and Drift
clearly, I'm not allowed to ask these questions.
Yeah, but ignore some people are just being silly though, isn't it? They're just being stupid, isn't it? Oh, Cal's gone. What I was gonna say though is Drift, I'm like you in terms of the notion that something bad that could potentially happen. Yes, we understand that. But if we're going off what's happened this season and how much we rate our team and how much we've rated the team since the start of the season, how it's progressively gotten better, there's no reason for us to think right now that it's just going to fall apart. Yes, of course it can fall apart. This is football. It's one like what people are saying, one result could change everything, but it's what you believe. And what I believe is kind of like, I'm the same as Jiff in terms of, I do believe we will bounce back. Do I definitively know that? No, but I do believe it though. I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm okay to sit here and say that. And it's okay for people to say, you know, they don't think, what this might happen. That's fine. Each to their own. That's what I'm saying. Each to their own, isn't it? But what I'm saying to these people, because I've got to go, people, unfortunately, I've got to go. I've got to leave early today. But I just want to leave with this, yeah? The defeat yesterday has clearly rattled our fan base, yeah? Or should I say some of our fan base, yeah? We need to remember who we are. We are Liverpool. We are not Man United. The levels we have shown this season have surprised everybody because everyone wrote us off. This one game here, in my opinion, will not define our season. I tell you why it can't already define our season, because we've already won a trophy. Some people didn't think we was even going to win a trophy this year. Some people were saying top 4. Some people were saying we weren't even going to get in the top 4. You change your whole midfield. You got too much to do. Van Dijk is finished. Trent can't do this. People, please don't listen to outside noise. Don't let other fan bases rattle you. You get what I'm trying to say? We've got more fish to fry, you know. Trust me. And that's what we're going to do. What, you think we're not going to cook up some more teams this year? You must be mad if you don't think we're going to do that. So don't listen to some idiots, man. Sure. But yeah, man. Big up to everybody, man. Love as always.
Big up yourself as always.
Yeah, man. Love as always. We'll talk.
Yes, brother.
Yeah. Bless up you, man. And people, please listen. Over 1,000 of you in here. Please go and subscribe and press that like button, please. Thank you very much. Cheers, people. Love. Someone said disagree. That's good for you, bro. You disagree. See you later, mate.
No, they're allowed to disagree, though. I don't know. I don't know anymore, actually, if we're allowed to disagree or not. Joe LFC says, I'm still fuming. Yeah, same. Pimpin' Distress says, big up Drift for Drifty TV post-match review.
Big up, Pimp.
Big up to Sadiq says, rather lose this game and beat them in the league. We have to beat them in the league. Absolutely have to. Planner Boy says, I'm okay with the loss if we end up winning in the league. Again, have to win in the league. H says, we defo cooking them in the league. Kwanzaa also a massive positive. He seems the truth. Drifty coming like he bought Bitcoin in 2010 with the stocks. Go yourself, H.
Nah, the kids definitely improving every game. It's good to see.
Kike says, Drifty, they aren't a great team now, but they do have a lot to look forward to. You could even say they are on their way back to being a great team. I think they're miles away from that, if I'm going to be honest, Kike, personally.
I mean, and they are, but like I said, I just think hyping the team they have now, for example, say like bigging up certain players that they don't actually rate, but because they had a good game yesterday, I've said that's just doing too much. It's very flip-floppy because he'll have a bad game next game and then all of a sudden they'll be cussing him again. Like I've actually heard them bigging up McTominay and Anthony and saying, you know, maybe they shouldn't have doubted them and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're just doing too much. But again, just let them do too much in it because it is what it is.
Chi says Klopp PR in the mud and Matt Howie is Macca top 2. I don't think Klopp's PR's in the mud personally, and I wouldn't say Macca's top 2 in the world, but he's definitely in a conversation in the Prem.
This season, I'd be very interested to see who thinks has had a better season than McAllister, midfielder was.
Jamrock says, would we have played like that 2-1 up versus City? I almost certainly wouldn't have. Big up to Herbs, man, who says, big up Drifty TV, agreed with everything you said. That was said, but I'm one of those fans that like to throw shade on my rivals. I'm more shameless than Cal. I don't know if you can be. It's not the loss that hurt, it's who we lost to.
No, Herbs, man, that's totally cool. Like, I remember, I don't have a problem with people who do it. It was just me talking about the fact that I don't do it. So it's like an obvious thing that what I'm saying, because I was just basically talking about not being bothered about rivals, Cal. And obviously, like, when like Lee jumps in or Kaz jumps in the chat or something like that, like it's the nature of the game. But I do like to have grown-up conversations as well. And I really think YouTube football especially, but just social media football now, you can't have a conversation about everything. You're either making an excuse, you're being salty, or people just act childish and they can't have grown-up conversations about football. And it's kind of annoying to me personally, because sometimes I just want to have a grown-up conversation about it. I don't always want it to be ha 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 and all that stuff. There's a time and a place for that, and there's a time and a place to have a proper discussion. But you don't get to have a proper discussion very often. So people being, you know, like calling you and I'm just saying I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like nobody can actually let me know a time when, outside of celebrating during the performance or during the match reaction, that I ring them or whatever, cause like I don't do that.
I mean, we don't really have conversations though unless we lose. Let's be real, when we're winning, we don't have serious conversations. We are that banter channel. We part meme videos.
No, I'm talking about that. If we beat someone, I don't ring them up and start grilling them. I'm saying, me personally, I don't do that.
Yeah, but we do come on here and we do a madness. Like if we had won that game yesterday, when we were 2-1 up, if we'd gone 3-1 up and won that game, we wouldn't have had serious chats after the game. We would have been laughing and joking and taking it.
I enjoy it in the moment and then I leave it there. I don't like go and chase after the rivals the way they are, and each to their own if that's how you are. But there's a part of me that finds it, how far it goes is the bit where it's like it gets a bit childish, but I accept it. That's how the social media world is now, isn't it? But once we leave the celebration of the post-match, there's no evidence anyone's got of me ringing them or rinsing them or running them down and chasing after them to cuss them out. Because like I enjoy it within the moment of what it is, if you get what I mean. Like I don't really, like, I know they're already hurt. I don't even need to call them up to be like, yo, how hurt are you, bro? You know what I mean? So
for me, I know everyone's saying it's Man United, that's why it hurts more. For me, it's not necessarily Man United. It hurts because it's Man United, but for me, it's the manner in which we lost. We could have lost that game to Bournemouth. It's the manner in which we lost. We had the game. We had the game won twice, and we blew it twice, and then ended up losing the game. It didn't even take. If we had gone to penalties and then lost it, then I may have been little less annoyed. But genuinely, we could have lost that game to any team, and I'd have felt how I felt after that game yesterday. It wasn't just because it was Man United. It was the fact that we were winning the game and had the game won. And we, because of our incompetence, because of our complacency, because of our arrogance, we lost the game. I think everyone's really fixated on the Man United thing. It's how we lost the game that really peed me off. That could have been any team standing across from us. It's how you lose the game. It's the fact that we had a 5-on-2, a 4-on-2, multiple chances where you could have played the right pass, multiple chances where you could have just played the easy pass, times where Klopp could have made different substitutions. Nunes is flipping out on his feet for everyone to see, but instead of playing him through the middle, you put him on the left wing, and a Gakpo who's more fresh, you play him through the middle instead with less running than Nunes. It's all those things that culminated into the frustration. I think everyone could see how frustrated we were when the third goal went in, let alone the fourth. So for me, it wasn't a case of it's Man United. That's why it hurts. It hurts because us as Liverpool blew it, not because of the team we played. It's we blew it. And that for me,
but is there a good way to lose a game now, Bob? There isn't really.
No, there's never a good way to lose, but it's like Drift. If we lost because we got outplayed by a team from start to finish, or they were just better than us, or they scored 3 great goals, but I could sit there and handle it. Like the Barcelona game, when we lost to Barcelona at the new camp 3-0, I came away from that game going, you know what, we shouldn't have really lost, but I can deal with it because the first goal was well worked. This Messi's free kick was amazing. Their second goal a little bit lucky, but they still created chances. Yesterday, bro, it was a calamity.
The reason I disagree is because the opposition counting that. So you could take that 3-0 defeat to Barcelona, which I didn't take that. I was actually angry because I didn't like that we lost after playing so well. But you look at that game and you think to yourself, okay, they are still a good team. They got Messi, for fuck's sake. So like Suarez and all them, man. Man United being a worse team than us, I would be more annoyed. I'm being honest. I'd actually be more annoyed if we'd have got bopped off the park. Because if a team that's not better than you bops you off the park, I'm even more annoyed. It's easier for me to stomach that we were complacent and we have to like kick ourselves at why we lost than we got to sit here and we got badded up and we're like, they're Man United. How do we actually just let them bad us up like that? I would prefer we lost the way we did than that, personally.
I could
like, that Man United team could have not dominated us and me sit here and felt more comfortable. I would have been more annoyed. Like, what the fuck is that?
No, so I'd have been able to live with that more. I'd be, because yesterday didn't feel like we got beat. Yesterday felt like we beat ourselves or we lost. Not that we got beat. It felt like we lost the game. That's what annoys me. Like I can live with that more than being bad enough. I'm not gonna lie. I can live with
it's like beating us over 90 minutes. If you lose a judge's card in a fight, it's a lot easier to take than someone has to give you smelling salts.
No, not if they're just better than you, bro. Because, bro, you can take a sustained beating for 5 rounds. Like, sometimes getting knocked out.
No, I'm talking about if the person is if you know you're better than that person and you lose on points, you can be like, fucking, it doesn't look as bad on your record. You come again. If that person knocks you out, you're like, how the hell did I let that happen? Like, how I am better than this person. But how did I let them beat me?
But that's exactly what we did, bro. Instead of keeping them at the end of the jab and easily winning the fight, we decided to stand in the pocket and start throwing punches for no reason. That's what we did. And then we got our asses handed to us.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's an easier defeat to handle than being knocked out.
No.
Well, for me, it is anyway.
We did get knocked out, bro.
No. 4-3 in the last minute of the game isn't a knockout. Knockouts, they beat us 4-0 and we don't even get close to the ball. That's a knockout.
That for me is more of a decision, bro, because the knockout for me is we got involved in a close fight that we didn't need to get involved in, and instead of it going to the judges and we could have potentially won, we ended up staying in the pocket and got knocked out from a punch that we shouldn't have even taken.
No, but obviously we're doing trying to make a football metaphor for fighting. A knockout is when you get spanked, bro. Like a 4-3 close game is a points decision in a fight. We got and a 4-0.
We got knocked out in the 5th round, bro.
When Man United came to Anfield, we knocked them out. We beat them 7-0, absolutely dominated the game in the second half. We knocked them out. That's a knockout, bro.
Yeah, it's an early knockout, but bro, we got knocked out just in the 5th round, bro. And we shouldn't even have been in the 5th round. Like, they got lucky at the end effectively because we overcommitted. Is literally an archetypal knockout, bro. We had a corner, we overcommitted too many people forward, left ourselves short, and got knocked out. It's Usman and Edwards, bro. Usman could have just grabbed on my man's leg and sniffed his crotch, bro, and kept his title. Decided to stand there and do the tippy-tappy thing and got his head kicked off.
Yeah, but like I said, you would interpret that as, when you look back on it, you're super happy for Edwards and you're over the moon for him. But you look back on it and you were like, you know what? He lost the fight, but he got the knockout. Like, he was losing every round pretty much, and he was being dominated. And then Usman walked away from that fight with credibility still. Do you get what I mean? It wasn't just he went in there and he just got ran through and he just got dealt with, and it's like, whoa, what the hell was that all about? Kind of like what happened in their rematch. He didn't get ran through, but Edwards absolutely dominated him in the rematch, and he came out of the rematch way worse off than he did in the first one, even though he lost both. So that's the way I look at it. I would rather lose the way we did yesterday than be beat up 4-0 by a team that's nowhere near as good as us and just have to sit here thinking, how the hell did we get havoc like that yesterday?
I genuinely can live with the fact of a team being better than us once for 90 minutes than losing like that. The way we lost yesterday makes me sick. It really does. Especially when we didn't need to be in that situation. We should have killed off. So that
made you feel worse than if we'd have got beat 4-0.
To an extent, yeah. Hear me out, Drift. I'm not saying you're wrong for feeling how you're wrong, but I'm just telling you how I feel. Yeah, it made me feel worse because if we got beat sustained over the game, I could have come away from that going, you know, we had a really bad day at the office today. They were way better than us today. They deserved that win. We didn't lose today necessarily. They beat us. They comfortably beat us. Whereas yesterday, I come away from that game going, we had so many chances to put that to bed. We didn't put it to bed. And then we lost in the dying minutes of the game. We went 120 minutes yesterday when we didn't need to and came away with absolutely nothing from that game. That hurts. And it's not just because it's United. It hurts no matter who beats us in that game yesterday because we're 2-1 up. We do stupid stuff. It goes 2-2. Then we get ourselves in the position, go 3-2 up. All we got to do then is see. So we've had the first warning. Didn't take heed. We've then done it again, and you're going, all right, you learn from your mistakes. That's how you grow. You learn from your mistakes. And then we do it again. They equalize, but then we go a step further and let them win the game. For me, that's crazy.
But what if we apply the same logic that you're using to, we did have an off day yesterday, but because we are a brilliant team, we were still able to have an off day that saw us score 3 goals and could have still won. But what if it was still an off day? But you don't have to get battered for it to be an off day. What if yesterday was an off day? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can still apply that same logic and just say we had an off day, missing some chances, being complacent, giving the ball away, not taking care of it in the last 15 minutes. We're not like that. One thing we do quite well is see games out. That's why we keep winning games in the second half, right? So yesterday could just be an off day, bro. But we're so good, it wasn't a 4-0, it was a 4-3.
You're right. Could have been an off day, or could have just been us playing bad as well, bro. Like, it can go both ways.
Yeah, but like I said, I would rather lose the way we did yesterday than get battered. So
no, that's fair. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying how I feel. But
that's fair enough.
That's how I feel about it. Bajan Reds TV says Matt and Drift, you have to answer for your crimes for leaving Cal solo on the watch along. Love as always, my G's, and new day, and we move. Yeah, I'm going to speak to you lot about that separately.
Do you want to know what's funny? Yeah, no one's going to care about
you. Not rush me. You not watch me get rushed and just.
You know what it was? Yeah, but I get it. It's all fun, and I like that people get to laugh at. I don't care about that part. I had to quickly do something, and in the back of my mind, I was going to do it before the penalty shootout. So I actually went to just go and do what I had to do. But the timing is comedic excellence and fair play. That's what it looks like. Me and Matt talked about it, and he actually admitted it. So he was like, no, I went because I was vexed. he was, and that's what I was saying to him. I was like, I didn't even know you were going to do it, or I wouldn't have done it. Because if I'd have known he was going to do it as well, then I wouldn't have done it to leave you there. But yeah, look, to be fair, it gives everyone something to laugh at, so it's all cool.
It gave them me to laugh at, bro, because I couldn't come off the screen when you lot back.
No, they laughed at all of us. They laughed at all of us.
Not from what I've been getting, bro. The Herdsman says, definitely arrogant, complacent, overconfident. We played way too casual and we didn't show them no respect. It's weird, actually, Herdsman. I think in the first half we showed them too much respect, and then in the second we didn't show them enough respect. There was no middle ground yesterday. It was really weird. Aminor says, Drift, hold that, come collect your salty clock. I mean, Man United fans, with all due respect, go and win the FA Cup. Chill a little bit. I'm of the boat. I'm in the boat where you go, yeah, you're allowed to celebrate that, but I mean, we've got Klopp, you've got Ten Hag. I know which side I'd rather be sitting.
We will revisit this, and then in it.
Yafu said, thoughts on Diaz doing keepy uppies at 2-1 at 60 minutes. We've spoken about this, Yafu. Look, for me, it was frustrating, but I think way more has been made about this. For me, Diaz doing kick-ups isn't worse than Gakpo and Elliott messing up that chance where it's 5-on-2. That's not worse. Because Diaz doing kick-ups actually didn't amount to anything good or bad. Gakpo and Elliott messing up amounted to us not scoring a goal. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna. That Diaz one's really easy one to like nitpick at, but really and truly, that's the worst. That's the least of all the evils for me personally.
I'm not trying to be rude to anybody because everyone's allowed to have their own opinion and think, but I find it very strange if it really bothers you that much that he was just doing some skills in the corner. I watch football for that, if I'm being honest. If he was doing that on the edge of our box and then got tackled and they scored a goal, then that's like, you know what I mean? That's the case for like man if you get dropped for the next game for that stuff. But if he's doing it in the far corner of their end, like I watch football to see skills and be entertained. I know like we want to win, but this is why you watch football, right? I find it crazy people are angry about that. I don't know. We didn't beat Man City. Is everyone vexed when he was cooking Walker?
But that's different because he was trying to make something happen, Drift. I think that's the bit.
But what if he was trying to make something happen in the corner, though? Maybe he's doing to see where he might be able to flick it over him and run round him or like.
There was no one near him. There was no one near him, Drift. He just started doing kick-ups. But as I said, if we're two goals up or 3 goals up,
like, I don't know.
But we're not saying you have to take kick-ups and stuff out of the game, but if it's 70 minutes on the clock, bro, or 60 minutes on the clock, and it's only your goal in it, and we're away from home, and you decide to start doing kick-ups, bro, if the roles were reversed and Anthony started doing all that nonsense, and then we went on to beat them, bro, we would highlight that. We have to keep the same energy, bro. We would.
I would be
cooking, bro. We cook.
And only because Anthony's doing crap. Like if it was Ronaldinho doing it in the corner, afterwards nobody would go and be like, "Oh, why was he doing that?" Anthony, because he's crap. That's why. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Bajan Reds TV says, you fellas see Gunali supporting Man U now. The man changes more than a chameleon changes colours. He should be known as Skittles. Lee, make sure it's not date night on the Man City game, and you make sure you don't lose that. Be like to Kaz from Never a Foul. Go and subscribe to Never a Foul, people. No rubbing it in shamelessly, but I'm here, lads. Ready for a proper debate on the game. You have my number, but big up always. One of the best games produced. You know what, Kaz? I'm gonna give you a shout. I'm actually gonna give you a shout either tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll organize something. But also, yeah, do you know what? From a neutral standpoint, it must have been an excellent game. From a Man United standpoint, obviously.
Yeah.
From a Liverpool standpoint, I never really want to see that game ever again in my life.
If you take emotion out of it, it's a classic. A 4-3 in an FA Cup between two big teams is a classic.
Yeah. Pimping Distress says, checking if Super Chat's working because it won't send a Super Chat I want to. I'm not sure it's doing that, bro. Sweet Boy says, this is an overreaction for me. We are not special. We won't win all the games. This is football. There's a reason a quad hasn't been done before. All right. The issue that I have with people saying the quad hasn't been done before. 100 points had never been done before. 99 points hadn't been done before. Coming back 3-0 down from Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final with Trent taking a quickly taken free corner hadn't been done before. Just because something hasn't been done in football before doesn't mean it can't be done. Doesn't mean you don't aspire for that. Again, I humbly ask, as Liverpool fans, when did we get to a point where we're all right not winning trophies? Where did we get to a point where we're like, no one does it, so why should we care? Aren't we the club that prides ourselves on doing the unthinkable, doing what other teams don't do? Like, when did that change? Respectfully, because I don't get it. I'm always going to be this fan. I'm always going to have high standards. One sec. I'm always going to have these high standards of wanting to win every single trophy and wanting to win every single game. I know in my heart we can't win every single game. I know every season we can't win every single trophy. But when we're in it and we have a genuine chance to win these trophies, why are we so happy getting knocked out and being calm about it and going, no one's done it, it's calm? I don't care if no one's done it. Man United did the treble. No one had done it in the Premier era before they did. Everyone said, it can't be done, but they did it, right? And then City have done it. So what we say, no one can ever do the quad ever again. No one can ever do it. No one, like,
no one's saying no one can ever do it. It's highly unlikely.
How many records have we broken under Klopp? How many records? We've broken numerous records. How many games did Virgil go without losing a game at Anfield? Come on, Peter. So, but all of a sudden we can't aspire for great things. Come on, man.
No, it's not about not aspiring for it, bro. It's because I'm on the other side. I'm not that bothered about it. I thought it would have been amazing if we'd done it, but I was never on it because I never felt it was possible. Not just because I don't quite think the squad is ready to do it, but because if you, like you said, no one's got 100 points. I get it, but that's an individual thing.
Sarah, what is wrong with you, Sarah? Sorry, Sarah, what is wrong with you? When did I say we're out of all competitions? You got a bee in your bonnet tonight. What is wrong with you? Seriously, Sarah, what's wrong with you?
When we say coming back from 3-0 down against Barcelona, that's still like one thing. But winning a quadruple means you have to do 4 things. Not flawlessly, but like you have to be pretty immaculate to win a trophy. Like luck is obviously involved as well, but winning trophies is about kind of being immaculate throughout that process, because especially in knockout football, you can't really lose games. So if you have 4 competitions where you have to be great in all 4 and to win all 4, luck massively plays a part, because you have to keep your squad fit. You have to hope nothing goes against you. You have to make sure everybody's available. Fatigue massively takes a role in it. Like all those things come into it. You add international football in, and I think they play about 10 to 12 international games in a season. So you've got 63 league games, then you've got 12 international games put on top of that. So that's 75 games in the season for all the international players in your team. If you're good enough to win a quadruple, most of your players are going to be internationals. Like there's so much that will go into winning a quadruple that, of course, it's not impossible, like literally impossible, but it is so difficult to do it that there's no point getting caught up on it and letting it bother you. And I've seen a lot of our fan base being really bothered by the fact that we can't win the quadruple. And it's like, it was very unlikely it was going to happen anyway. Don't let it bother you that much. Like, it would have been cool if it had happened, but don't let it bother you this much. And I think when people say no one's ever done it before, it's to make a point, like the point that I made. Bro, Mourinho, Fergie, Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola, Rafa Benitez, Jurgen Klopp, the greatest, most elite managers we've ever seen in this country, and to be fair, in the whole world. And none of them have done a quadruple. That's how difficult it is to do it. So, like, let's not act like it's a failure. We didn't do it. I think that's what's bothering me, is that a lot of people are acting like it's a failure. We haven't won the quadruple.
Nah, I don't think it's a failure. But my frustration is when people turn around and say, it's like, it can't be done, or you shouldn't even be aspiring to try and win the quad. I'm like, hold on a sec. We shouldn't be aspiring. We can't be done. Well,
yeah, I don't know why anyone would say you should be aspiring.
Like a couple seasons ago, like we were 2 games away. So like, what are we doing there?
But again, we had a look how close we got, and we couldn't get over the line because that's how difficult it is.
So look how close we got. So it can be done then. So it's not impossible. It can be done.
Yeah, no one said it's impossible. It's just highly unlikely.
But
Otherwise, it would have been done before.
Winning the league is highly unlikely, brother. It's 1 out of a 20 chance. But we still want the league. We still aspire to win the league.
No, but that's just one thing you've got to concentrate on, which makes it easier to.
Because you have all the other competitions and other stuff you've got to juggle as well, bro.
Like I said, there's a reason none of the greatest of all time have done it, because it's very, very difficult. Very difficult. So the fact that we didn't win a quad isn't a failure. Like people, from what I've seen, people feel like we failed almost by not winning a quad. It's like we haven't failed, guys. We still got 2 trophies that we can win. Like,
absolutely not a failure, but at the same time, I don't think people also should be like not ridiculed. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but pushed aside, because let's call it what it is. They've got high standards of wanting to win every trophy available for Liverpool and wanting to send Klopp off in the best possible way. Like, but again, I don't know, man. I say stuff, but I don't know, man. H says, we responded well to setbacks, i.e. Spurs and Arsenal. I'd expect the same. We badly need some players back for the final stretch. Agreed with that. Kite says, let's lose Europa so we have less games. I don't want that to happen.
No, but you see, this is what I'm saying. Kai's just being stupid. That's the childishness I'm talking about. That means you didn't listen to anything I said. You just heard the part where I said going out could be beneficial to not having things rescheduled, and then you've just said something childish about it. Like, when did I say let's go out of all the competitions? I said let's try and take a positive from the negative. Like, but people just don't listen. So,
Oza99 says, "What did you guys think about Klopp storming off?" Honestly,
that's why he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Well, I need to hear.
He said himself he hates press conferences.
No, but I genuinely want to know what the question was that was asked to him, because that's the bit I've not seen. Because if the question that was asked was wrong and he's or bad, then he deserves to be stormed off. But if the question's not that bad, then Klopp's in the wrong and deserves to and should really apologize. But I don't know if you've heard what the question is. I haven't heard what the question
No,
is.
I haven't. There's just that one bit going around of him saying, and the wickedest thing is I'm not sticking up for Klopp or whatever, but it could have been misinterpreted. So I would need him to even explain if he actually meant, if he was actually, because the guy wasn't even fat. Like, you know, when it zoomed out and you saw the guy wasn't fat. So it's like, was he really talking about his weight, or was he maybe mean he's not fit to be asking questions? Or I don't know, like, for real, like you said, like, we don't know if the guy was antagonizing him and then you only get the bit at the end where he's reacted to it. We don't know. I'd have to see everything to know, like, what it meant. But you know what everybody always does, they just want it to be the worst possible thing.
H is saying, question was on you pride yourself on intensity, but it wasn't really there in extra time. If it's something like that, I don't see a point of storming off on that, if that was the sort of question.
Like,
if
this
Klopp
is like
that, you shouldn't be doing that. And no, it definitely wasn't to do with the weight, because I've seen the journalist has actually come out and defended Klopp, saying that he didn't say anything about my weight.
And that's what people's trying to insinuate. That's what I'm saying, Cal. Like, everybody was trying to say he body shamed him, because everybody just wants there to be a reason to just cast Klopp. It's like, oh, bloody hell, here we go again.
Lit Vibe says United fans are forgetting 87 minutes of the game. I mean, they were always in that game, unfortunately, so we can't even use that one.
I'd also like to quote Arsene Wenger, since we got Lee in the building. Arsene Wenger once said, "Show me a good loser and I'll just show you a loser." So, like, when people are angry at the loss, it is what it is, man.
But that's kind of, brother, I was angry at the loss and you were saying I shouldn't be as angry as I am.
No, I said that people shouldn't be acting like the season's over and going overboard with how angry they are. Of course, you're allowed to be angry, but I think some people are going way overboard.
But just because all right, so there's a difference between being a quote unquote good loser and a sore loser. I don't want Klopp being a sore loser. If Klopp's doing something that's wrong because he's lost, then he has to be held accountable for that.
Yeah, but we've already established he wasn't insulting his weight. So I'm saying after that, then it was clearly just talking about him as a questioner.
I'm talking more just storming off and all that business. If he's doing that for no reason, then that's not on. Like if he's representing the club,
I need to see the interview to see the context in which it happened before I know how to make a thing on that.
Hate says, is it just me that missed Ali yesterday? Kelleher made some unreal saves, but when United were on top towards the end, he shrunk a bit and didn't command as well. Oh, H, I don't agree with. Oh, I disagree with that. I don't think Kelleher's done anything wrong in that game yesterday.
No, but I do believe towards the end he seemed to not kind of even dive for some of their goals. Like he was a bit like, I don't know, like maybe he was a little bit shocked by it, maybe possibly, but
he only did
was a little part
of the goals.
The Anthony goal, I think he could have done a bit better with the equaliser, and then it was either their equaliser at 3 to make it 3-3 or the winning goal. There's one of them, and I was like, I think Kelleher could have done better there. I'm not blaming him in any way, but I do think that he was a little bit culpable for the defeat in regards to like how it all ended. Yeah. He's been impeccable though, so I'm not going to jump on his case or anything like
that. Gang and Deep says, topic of discussion, are we actually good under pressure? History has shown even in Klopp era we fall short, and it becomes we just do enough for the season and not compete, and not to be complete disappointment. Thoughts? On the surface, it seems like that, but I think when you actually add the context, I wouldn't say that. I think pressure is knowing you have to win every single game from, I don't know, February until the end of the season, or not lose a game, and you don't lose a game. I think we deal fine with pressure. It's just we've got a team in Man City who also deal very well with pressure. So I don't think it's, on the whole, I don't think it is. We've shown moments, but I wouldn't say as an overall that we don't handle pressure well, personally.
yeah, it's a tough one. I think we handle pressure well. It's not going to happen every single time.
Guy says, I don't want to hear sniffing crotches again, Cal. Fair dues. I won't use that one on this air again.
I don't even remember you saying that.
Yeah, when we talk about Usman stuff.
Oh.
Shout out to Leon Rudolph, who's just become a member. Big up yourself, Leon.
We got.
Pimp in Distress says, I hope that Man U fan gets time. 100% disgusting. Yeah, that was the Man United fan doing a chance and making gestures about Hillsborough, which sickening to say the least.
I can't believe people think it's okay to make fun of that stuff. I don't know. I can't say what I want to say, or else I will get the channel shut down. But let's just hope justice is served. Isgaz says the loss hurt. The fact that someone as doo-doo as Anthony, the Beyblades scored, made it worse. Europa and League still ours. Head up, boys. Nothing but love. You'll never walk alone. Always love, Gav. Be like yourself, bro. Dean says, we have been complaining about decision making. It came back to bite us yesterday. To be honest, as much as we have been winning, we have been poor overall. All right, so I agree with the first sentence. We haven't been poor this season. There's no way we could have been poor and being competitions and top of the league and competing for honours. We haven't been poor. We haven't been at our best, but we haven't been poor. But yes, we have been complaining about decision making for a while now. We haven't been poor, and nobody believed that we'd be this good at the beginning of the season. So I know expectations change throughout the season. That's natural, but how can you go from not thinking we're good enough to compete to now being angry we haven't won everything? Again, it's a mad extreme that I just find confusing.
I don't think that is extreme though, because as you said, expectations can change.
Yeah, but even though expectations can change,
just like opinions can.
No, but expectations can change. But if the squad is the same squad, there's not that much that should change to the point where you are that angry or whatever at the difference. Do you get what I'm saying? Expectation could change because you might outperform yourself or you might do better than you were supposed to, or players can punch above their weight and stuff like that, that's fine. But like, the quad is perfection. So if you didn't even think we were good enough to compete, and you thought top 4 was all we're going to get, which a large portion of the fan base felt like, because remember, I was one of the positive ones that felt like we'd challenge. Most of the fan base at the beginning was like, I think we'll get top 4. So how do you go from a top 4 challenge to not winning the quad and then saying that it's not good enough and then win the quad, but you didn't think we're good enough anyway? But okay.
Dean says, also some people being harsh on the players, but that loss was all on Klopp, tactics, substitutions, and his body language, and was not positive at all. Again, Dean, I disagree. That can't all be on Klopp when players are making wrong decisions. I think he takes a good portion of the blame, but it can't be all on him. Not when
even the substitutions, I think it's hindsight. I think Elliot coming on for Szoboszlai is a perfectly fine substitution. I think bringing off Robbo because he's looking tired, and putting Joey at left back, who's been brilliant at left back all season, and bringing on Bradley, who's our best right back, everybody keeps on saying, to see out the game from a defensive point of view, is a good tactical decision. Can you be angry he brought off Salah for Gakpo because you don't like Gakpo? Yeah, fair enough. But Salah did need to come off because he wasn't fit enough to play 90 minutes at that intensity. But that's why he's not going to Egypt, because we want him to be able to be okay for the last run in the season. So again, like I'm saying,
it's the Salah one. It's not the. I don't think anyone.
But someone saying Klopp substitutions is acting like they're saying everything about what he did tactically. Then just say bringing up Salah. Do you get what I'm saying? Because saying the substitutions as a broad spectrum, you're talking about all of his subs. Then. Do you get what I'm saying? Just say Salah. Then just say you don't think he should have brought Salah off. And even then, he brought him off for fitness. He didn't bring him off because he didn't think Salah's good enough. He brought him off for fitness. And we were winning when Salah came off, guys. If we were chasing the game, I'd be a little bit more understanding. But we were winning the game, and he's trying to preserve Salah. It's easy in hindsight, but yeah, we argued about this yesterday, so I don't want to.
Pim in the Stress says there's a difference between arrogant and complacent. A is think doo-doo don't stink. C is not cleaning your backside at all. That's top.
And the thing is, a lot of people are saying, like, for example, I know if I'm drawing out Sean here, but like Sean just said, yeah, but it was only a 1-goal lead and we're at Old Trafford. But I heard a lot of people before say we're going to smoke them. So why was everybody worried at 2-1? We were still winning. Do you get what I mean? Like, if everyone's like, oh, we're going to smoke Man United, they're so crap. Rare. And then we got a 2-1 lead with 15 minutes to go. And everyone's like, oh, no, the minute, what we doing here? We can't cope without Salah for 15 minutes at OT. But they're shit, right?
No,
so, of course, we
change. Just because someone says something at the beginning of the game and if things develop, doesn't mean they can't change their mind, Drew.
No, I know, but how you can't be that different in the way you're feeling, as in we're winning the game.
The terms of the situation have changed.
All right, but we weren't. But at the time when he took him off, there was no danger. Man United weren't playing well when Salah got subbed
because we
were winning.
Partly because he was on the pitch, Drift.
Nah, come on, Cal, man. We went 6 weeks without Salah and played well. Like, we can't just act like without him we're gonna fall apart. Like, a lead at Old Trafford for 15 minutes when we were the better team at that time, it's like okay to bring Salah off if he can't play 90.
Well, clearly it's not, bro, because look what happened.
But we didn't lose because of Salah.
But we lost.
Salah not on the pitch while we lost.
But all right. So if we've got Salah in those situations as opposed to anyone else who is in those situations, do you think we do better in those? I'm not saying it's a guaranteed goal. Do you think we do better in those situations?
There's a 50% chance we would have done better. Yes.
I mean, going based on history, brother, and how clinical Salah is and how good he is as an attacker, brother, there's a higher probability than 50%.
This is the thing we do in football, in football a lot, Cal. And I mean, all fans do this. We act like that situation happens if Salah's on the pitch. Butterfly effect. Salah don't come off, we might not get that 5-on-1. In fact, we probably wouldn't have had that 5-on-1. So it is always easy to go, oh, he would have scored that chance. Chances are, if he's playing, we don't get that chance.
All right, well, I'll ask you another question then. I'll ask you another question. Does Gakpo have more of a reason to be on come off the bench over Jaden Dansden?
That I agree with. You could probably arguably say, do you know what? It would have been better to have brought Dans on yesterday. So I agree with that. But then again, Nunes was tired, so moving Nunes to the left wing probably was a bad idea in general, right? Because Dans would have had to go down the middle.
He still played out on the left wing.
No, but what I'm saying is, so it's like it's still a bit of a contradiction if people are angry Dans didn't come on instead of for Gakpo, but don't think Nunes should have played left wing or should have still been on because he was tired. Because it's like he would have definitely gone left wing if Dan's come on, because Dan's would have had to go up front. And then Diaz would have gone on the right. So there's a lot of ifs and buts. But yeah, I'll definitely listen more to the argument that Dan should have come on instead of Gakpo. But then again, Gakpo's had 2 good games against Man United in his time he's been there, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he thought he can handle playing Man United. He is a senior player.
But we all know he's in stinky form at the moment. You could also make an argument about Gomez going left back for Robbo and then bringing on Bradley when he could have just gone straight for Tsimikas and kept Joe Gomez on at right back as well.
Yeah, but I think that was a tactical move when he started to see things unfolding and Joey was getting tired. So I think the Tsimikas substitution was tactical because Joey was getting tired. But at the time, because remember Tsimikas came on in injury time, in extra time, so if I'm not mistaken, innit?
No, but that's what I'm saying. He could have taken Robbo off and put Tsimikas on straight away and just kept Joey there and still had Bradley.
No, but that's what I'm saying, bro. But he thought Joey, because he thought we're just going to win in the 90. And Joey is the best left back at the club this season. So he just wanted to have the best fullbacks to cope with the pace to see the game out. Like, it makes perfect sense, bro. But then in injury time, you got to make a tactical change because we've got extra time now and Joey's knackered at this point, etc., etc. So, like, it's a lot of hindsight, but I think Bradley coming on and Joey going left back is a perfect decision at Old Trafford to see a game out where you've got a lead. In my opinion, it is.
Fair enough.
Because we lost the game, people might think differently, but everybody thinks Bradley's our best right back and Joey's been our best left back. So what's wrong with it? I don't know. Like I said, I think people are just dissecting it too much. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think people are dissecting it too much. But
this guy says, "Raw, H out here asking serious questions." Very true. Kai says, if we lost games and played badly and then won and played well, no one would say we're back. But when we lose one game after how long, people saying we're done. Yeah, I hear that. I don't think anyone's saying we're done. Or if there are,
been a few people in socials,
but the absolute minority.
No, but obviously, I think you're just talking to those people, isn't it?
Kirtan says, Cowdrift, trust me, the interview was on his best wind-up job. Klopp had every right to react how he did. I have to see it, so that's why I'm not commenting on, because I haven't seen it. I need to see it before I say yes or no. But big up yourself, Cartoon. Kite says, I'm using your logic. Why don't we lose Europa games on purpose so we benefit from less games?
But Kai, we didn't lose the Man United game on purpose. Again, respectfully, bro, you're not making any sense. We didn't lose the Man United game on purpose. But since we lost it, let's try to take the positive from the defeat. And that is there won't be a fixture pile up. Do you know what I mean? Like, when did anybody say we lost the game on purpose?
I think what he's saying there is because the first thing you said after we lost is it's a positive. It's more of a positive than a negative, us losing or going out.
No, I said the positive is we don't have to play extra games.
But you'd never said any of the negatives effectively. So you've kind of just focused on the positives. So I think that's
because I was trying to not get dragged into the whirlwind of negativity.
He's definitely being disingenuous with how he's phrasing it. But it's more about the less games. And that was what my argument was. It's like it was one extra game in the pile-up of the season.
No, but it's also the fixture changes as well. It's not just about the less games, it's the fixture changing. Like I said, I was just trying to take a positive out of a negative. It's crazy. People will say you're being too negative, but then if you try and be positive, people say that you shouldn't do it. People just pick and choose when you're allowed to say and do. That's why I just do what I want, because I'm not trying to appease everybody and all this stuff. I just say how I feel at that time, and it is what it is. But If you think that I meant let's lose the FA Cup on purpose, then that's a wild interpretation of what I said.
Erhan says, since LFC fans don't rate Gakpo Werner swap, I don't want Werner. Sorry, Erhan. Respectfully, you can keep that one, bro. Gangan Deep says, pressure getting over the line in title races in the Premier era. We haven't come out on top year after year. A year after we won the league, we barely scraped top 4. Last season, coming off the back of almost doing the quad, we fell off, very inconsistent. Yeah, that's all true. I can't even try and defend that. That's spot on, to be honest. Very frustrating, but it's spot on. Trap West says, unpopular opinion, I would have taken FA Cup over Europa. I wanted both, so.
No, but between the two, which one do you actually prefer?
Honestly, I'm not even saying this to try and just be difficult. I'm the worst person to ask this. Again, I know I'm going to get labelled all the names, but I want to win all the trophies. I don't do the whole picking and choosing thing, bro.
No, but which one do you think is a better trophy to win?
In the grand scheme of things, probably the Europa, because we haven't won it under Klopp.
No, it's just a much better trophy, bro.
I mean,
any European trophy trumps a domestic trophy. We cussed, I don't mean we, but in general, we cussed Arsenal for trying to talk about 4 FA Cups in 20 years and dismissed it like it was nothing. But yet then people want to pick it up.
Europa as well, though. That's what I'm saying. We've also done both. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying Europa in this essence because Klopp hasn't won it, but I think
it's kind of mad.
Some people might see the FA Cup. But there are people out there who still romanticize over the FA Cup and would have preferred the FA Cup. I'm not saying
I don't see many.
I'm not saying I would in this situation, but I don't think those.
Any European trophy.
I never once cussed Arsenal for the FA Cup. By the way, I've been very consistent with my attitude when it comes to trophies. I've never once ever disrespected the Carabao Cup. Never disrespected the FA Cup. I respect all those trophies equally.
Oh yeah, I would never say it's a crap trophy. I don't want to win it, but I definitely will, without question, say I'd rather win the Europa League than the FA Cup. Any European trophy is better than a domestic cup, in my opinion.
Do you take Champions League over Premier?
No, domestic cup, FA Cup or the League Cup. I would rather win a European Cup than the FA Cup or the League Cup. Any day, any week of any day. And the mad thing is, I would rather win the league than the Champions League because I think the league is the bread and the butter. But there are some people that probably would say they'd rather win the Champions League over the league. Yeah. That one would probably split opinion down the middle, to be honest.
Dean says, Drift, just share my opinion. Yes, players did a madness, but no one called out Klopp. We also changed our shape too after subs, too many factors. I mean, I said what I said about Klopp, but you're not allowed to say anything about Klopp because then it just opens a whole can of worms. So I've just stopped. Lit Vibe says, my boy Robbo is washed, poor decision making. Yeah.
Crazy thing is, I thought he had a good game yesterday. He just tired out. I don't think Robbo was poor yesterday.
I think his decision making, especially going forward, has become very predictable. Almost to a point where it's become a bit of a hindrance to us.
You know what though, bro? I think he was always predictable. I just think because he had the Mane partnership, Mane used to help it not be predictable, whereas Diaz doesn't have that chemistry with him and doesn't play the same kind of way.
I think Robbo's fallen in love with just crossing the ball.
He's always been like this, though, you know, bro.
No, he didn't always do this, bro.
He kind of has always been like this, bro. It's why he's got the most assists behind Trent. He's kind of always been like this.
But he used to vary his play. There'd be times where he wouldn't just cross the ball. He would go down the channel and get to the byline. It was always Trent who would be crossing from deeper. Robbo would sometimes get to the byline and actually get in the box and cutbacks and all those things. Now, he doesn't really do that stuff.
He's knackered now, though. He's been ran into the ground for 6 years. You know what I mean? It is his shooting more you should be angry at him about.
Oh, bro,
if I'm being honest, you can't be this shooting after this long.
Yeah, it's mad.
That
Ty
shot he
said-
missed, criminal. Even for a left back, it was criminal.
Bro,
Didn't even hit the top.
every shot he misses is criminal. Let's be real.
Yes, mad, bruv. On his favoured left foot. How do you sky that? I don't know.
Ty says that game showed things I don't like about Klopp teams: poor player health management, too many chances, playing out of form players, and basic patterns of play.
But you see, poor player health management. Isn't that what he did when he took Salah and Soboslai off? I'm not even having a dig at time, just saying, you see like how everyone's got a different opinion on it.
We will go around in circles in this, but bro, the Sparta Prague game, bro, like, I mean, it's there. Like, them boys would have been as tired or wouldn't have had to manage as much if they didn't play in many minutes in those games.
Like I said,
Salah literally could have played 20 minutes at the end of that game and that'd have given him enough in his legs to get rhythm. Literally.
I don't think it would give him rhythm. You can't get rhythm from 20 minutes, bro.
It's not like he's been out for months on end, though.
He has been out for a while, though.
About a month. But this is Salah we're talking about.
Didn't he go to AFCON on the 1st of January?
He didn't get injured straight away in the AFCON, though.
He got injured in their first game, didn't he?
Not to my, I don't think it was their
I
first.
swear
game.
he got injured in their first game.
But a month off? You're telling me Salah after a month? Like,
I think it was 6 weeks, bro, he missed in total, you know?
I'll be real, even 6 weeks, bro. I reckon Salah's all right with that.
Rhythm is important.
Jake O'Neill says Salah is the X factor. We don't want to face him. That's coming from a Man United fan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Jake's a Man United fan.
Promo. I'm not even reading out what's in the brackets. Promo. You're one of us, and you're sticking with us. We lost because of the tactics.
Remember, he's only talking about so they beat Man City, bro.
Yeah. We lost because of tactics, not the subs. Mo was wasteful most of the game. Yes, Gakpo's off form, but they were getting through our midfield. They also made changes, putting Maguire up front, and we didn't react. Yeah, I agree with all of that.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe Gakpo came on to help retain the ball.
Jamrock says Cal was Bruno and Ericsson finished at centre back. Yes, yeah, they did. They did, Jamrock. Disgusting. Vitu said, lads, rank these right wingers in order: Palmer, Saka, Bowen, Neto, and pick one for LFC to sign. Go on, you go first, bro. Or do you want me to go first?
I won't be able to do this without preference, so everyone's going to completely disagree with what I say. So I can't be asked for the argument.
I'll give mine then. So I'm going Saka top of the list, Neto second, Bowen third, and Palmer fourth. Who would I sign for Liverpool? In an ideal world, Saka. But I don't think that'd be plausible. As much as I love Neto as a player, I can't defend signing him now because the injuries are even worse than what they were before. So it'd have to be Bowen. But Saka would be for me, the obvious one there because him and Salah rotate until Salah leaves and then he just steps into that position full time. Hate says Robbo needs to be coached, to be honest. Legs ain't even gone.
I think they're going though. He's been rinsed.
So here's my take on Robbo and the left back situation. I wouldn't actively look to sell Robbo or Tsimikas, but should one of them ask to leave, then I'm not losing sleep over it. In the same way, I'm not actively looking to sell Gakpo or Diaz this summer, but if one asks to leave or an offer comes in and we can replace them, then again, I'd probably make the move. But I would actively look to move any of them on.
I would prefer we bought a new left back and Robbo became the cover and he'd play less so his career would be prolonged and then he would have the energy needed in the games he plays. The only problem I would have with that is I think Robbo is a rhythm player, and I don't think he would do well as someone who only plays once every 10 games or whatever. So it's like a gift and a curse.
So we didn't it better to keep Simicast as opposed to Robbo then?
It could be, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But I do think Robbo is the better player or the better left back.
He is, but is he better for us?
No, maybe Simicast is better at coping with playing less games and still performing. So, and he's a little bit younger. So, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough.
It's a beautiful day.
Tough one. It's a tough one.
Ty says, I've been telling you for years about Klopp and his injury record since Dortmund. Now we're acting surprised that he ain't even new players are falling off. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken.
Take the rough with the smooth with the way Klopp is, isn't it?
I've had an issue with the training situation for a while now.
I think it's more the intensity we play the games at, bro, because it's so high intensity and it's so much demand put on them.
It's both, and I think that's what frustrates me sometimes about our style of play. From an attacking standpoint, it's phenomenal. But we have to do so much last-ditch stuff. It just puts such a strain on the body that's so unnecessary. And it's like, who's benefiting really from that? Because, yeah, it's nice winning games 5-0 and all this, but ultimately you still only get 3 points. So, granted, yeah, every now and again, 5-0 games and stuff like that is good. And sometimes you just run that extra bit. But for the detriment of us winning trophies at the end of the season, then... Yeah,
but we have won stuff, so I think it just depends.
I still think, as much as I love Klopp, I still think we could have won more. We should have won more.
Yeah, but I think that's more down to the opposition being so brilliant in Man City, rather than us keep on nitpicking at like whether we think Klopp could have done this or like. Because one of the unique things about Klopp is that we get to enjoy a brand of football that's different from others. I'm only going to talk for myself, but I enjoy that Liverpool play differently. I look at even like Arsenal, for example, now they're playing a very similar brand to Man City. They might have tweaked it a little bit more this season, but like last season, they were kind of playing a similar brand, being very, possession based and stuff. And obviously he's taken what he learned under Pep a bit. I kind of like that we play totally different to everybody because it makes us unique. So it's got its pros and it's got its cons, you know what I'm saying?
There it is. H says, I'm not going to lie, proper liking Joey at left back, peak for Robbo. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens for the rest of the season because Joe would be my starting left back, but I don't think that's going to happen. Dean says, Cal, I'll forgive you for Endo if you agree that Ronaldinho is the best and most talented player to ever play the game. If only he took football seriously. I can't say that because I'd be lying to you because I think R9 is the most talented player to ever play the game. So Dean, I can't say that in good faith, bro. Like Ronaldinho is definitely up there, but R9 for me is the most talented natural footballer who's ever touched this earth that we've seen play football. Like I've seen R9 do stuff that even even Messi for me is the attacking GOAT of football because of his career and what he's achieved. But if we talk about natural talent and ability, R9 is something I've never seen before, and I don't think I'll ever see again. And the same applies to Messi. I'll never see another Messi again. But R9, Dean, please don't take this disrespectfully. Maybe you might be a bit young to remember R9. I'm not even old enough to fully remember all of R9, but I've seen enough that lets me go, that's the guy.
Do you know the crazy thing is, bro? What you said, R9, bro, that's it. You're nail on the head. But I'll be honest with you. People might go mad at me for saying this, because I know the heat you've got for saying anything about Ronaldinho. So maybe it's stupid I'm even going to say this. If we're talking about most talented, you can't sleep on Neymar being more naturally talented than Ronaldinho. Like, honestly, you can't. Forget the prima donna stuff and the way his career went. We're just talking about pure natural talent. You actually can't sleep on Neymar being better than Ronaldinho. Honestly, that kid was ridiculous.
I don't think you can sleep on it, but I haven't got him as more talented than our Ronaldinho.
And that's fair.
But he's definitely in the conversation. Has to be in the conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's definitely in a conversation to being as talented as Ronaldinho naturally.
But for me, he's not.
And that's fair. But I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people forget.
If you're saying he's not in the conversation, then I think you're being biased because he's definitely in the conversation. But for me, I'm having Ronaldinho. So.
If you go and watch the Santos and the Barcelona Neymar, and even for Brazil to a degree, like Neymar is ridiculous. He's actually ridiculous.
Let's not forget another GOAT, Maradona.
Yeah.
I'm even going to say
the crazy thing is, bro, if you want to talk about natural talent, we even have to talk about people that we probably haven't even seen enough of to be able to say it. Johan Cruyff, Zidane, Messi, Maradona. Like, there's so many players that we didn't watch enough of to probably have the conversation with, but the OGs will tell you, do you know what I'm saying? Pele.
I'm going to say something really crazy here. And I know it's going to really... I'm going to put myself out again. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say this again. I know what I'm going to get from it, but it is what it is, man. Half you lot don't like me anyway, so it is what it is at this point.
Sabio, that's a shout.
As great as Cristiano Ronaldo is, I don't think he's naturally as gifted as some of the other players we've mentioned. I think Cristiano's work ethic, as well as his talent, but more so his work ethic and his will and desire to improve every single day. I think that's what makes him the player he is, as opposed to just his natural talent. I don't think he's got as much natural talent, for example, as a Quaresma or play like that. But in terms of what he's done, because again, let's not act like he wasn't talented. Like, he's naturally gifted in it, but he's taken what he's got and he just squeezed every single bit of juice out of his body, his mind, his work ethic to make him who he is. So for that's why I always have him in the GOAT conversation. That's why I have him in the GOAT conversation.
But like, if you want to talk about natural talent,
for me,
Cristiano Ronaldo is more naturally talented than Suarez, for an example.
For me, I'd say, I don't know about that, Drew.
No, I would say Ronaldo. I would say Suarez is more naturally talented than Ronaldo.
I don't know if I would. I think Suarez.
All of the off the cuff stuff that Suarez does is natural. You can't train that stuff. That's natural.
But CR7 does off the cuff stuff and has done for a while, bro.
Ronaldo's off the cuff stuff, and people know I don't really have a thing about Ronaldo. Suarez does things that I don't see anywhere else. There's not too many times I've watched Ronaldo and seen something I've never seen before, even if it's great. There's not many things he's done. I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen that before. Suarez does stuff and I'm like, what the hell was that? I've never even seen that before. And I think natural talent provides you with the ability to have that, what the fuck was that kind of thing. But again, that's just my opinion. Suarez is more naturally talented than Cristiano, for me anyway.
That's fair enough. I don't think it's a crazy statement. Again, I disagree though. I think Suarez is up there. I just think Cristiano is naturally more talented. But Suarez, another one, just work ethic beyond belief. So,
someone just said there isn't a goal Suarez has scored that Cristiano hasn't. Suarez's goal past Newcastle. Suarez
Suarez versus Leroy Fer, Norwich. Like he scored bag of goals, but there's also on the flip side goals that Ronaldo scored that Suarez hasn't scored. So, bruv,
no, there are.
Shout out to Jade Activist, Eden Hazard, ridiculously naturally gifted, ridiculously.
Yeah, 100%. Charisma. You know how good charisma was in terms
remember
of
I mentioned him earlier.
Bro, charisma was disgusting, bro.
But work ethic was on the toilet seat, bro.
Yeah.
Ravel,
Do you know who else is more naturally
Morrison.
talented than Cristiano? Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, you could have a point there.
Ibrahimovic is more naturally talented than Cristiano.
Could have a point there. Kite says, all love to Kopish, still looking forward to the rest of the season. All love is always Kite, bro.
No, big up, Kyle. This is what we do. We fight, we make up, man.
I wouldn't even say we were fighting.
No, you know, like arguing, fighting.
Darek says, Saboz's going off was a bigger loss. Good second half.
He was playing well in the second half.
So this is my thing. This is where I've got to keep the same energy. I can't sit here and go, it was wrong for Klopp to bring on Elliot, because Elliot this season is 9.75 out of 10 times has been brilliant, not just good, brilliant off the bench. So Klopp bringing on Elliot and Elliot having a bad game, for me, that's not on Klopp, because that's a move where you go, it's worked 9.75 times out of 10. This was just a 0.25 where it didn't. It's the Salah one that gripes me. The Robbo for Bradley one that gripes me. It's those ones that gripe me more. Not bringing on Dan's and bringing on Gakpo. Those are the ones that gripe me. It's not the Elliot one's the least of my worries. It really is. Jay says,
Suarez don't have a bicycle kick in his locker.
Yes,
he's got to be trolling.
He's
he's got to be trolling.
Yeah, he's got a left-footed bicycle kick for Barcelona. Jade activist, if I'm not mistaken, he scored was it either a bicycle kick or a scissor kick against Arsenal at the Emirates when he was playing for Ajax as well. Suarez got a catalogue, man.
No, but he's not about catalogue, bro. He said in his locker, so he's saying he's not capable of doing it.
Oh no, that's incorrect. No, that's very incorrect.
Suarez not capable of a bicycle.
No, that's very incorrect.
Come on, bro. You got to be trolling, bro. You have to be.
Oh, that's very incorrect. That's very incorrect. Sorry, man. That's very incorrect. Jade Activist says we talked players. Why not talk? Why no talk of defenders? We talked players. I don't get what.
I think he's basically trying to insinuate we scored we conceded 4 goals, but nobody has ever actually blamed the defenders. I mean, surely the defense does have to be culpable to some degree if you let in 4 goals. Like, for example, I think Anthony's goal has to be laid at the defense's door. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to literally point at an individual, but for the defense to let Anthony score that goal. You know what I mean? Like, on his weak foot as well.
I'll be honest, I don't think anyone's expecting Anthony to do that. Plus, you got to ask yourself, why is Anthony in the box there in the first place? Where's the midfield that's going to run through? For me, it's a difficult one because I genuinely believe that Virgil and Konza had very good games yesterday. I don't think Joey had a great game. Ty says, Cal, I like
it. Just said, Joe, this man on road who could do bicycle kicks. It's not a mythical skill, you know.
Oh boy,
he's actually right though. You probably see basketball kick in the Sunday League. Do you know what I mean?
I have. Gang and Deep says Drifty Ribery over Robin more complete.
I would say Ribery was a more complete player than Robin. I agree with that, but I just think Robin was overall better. But I'd agree he was a more well-rounded because he could use his left and his right.
Dean says, Cal, I watched both of them, R9 and Gucho. Dino made a lot of people fall in love with the game. Adriano is the most clinical, sad ending to, trust me. Ronaldo.
Disagree with almost all of that, Dean. I'm not even going to lie.
R9 made a... Brazil kind of went through a little bit of a low, if I'm not mistaken, before he came back on this. No, well, I mean, they won it in 94. But people were saying that they're not the same Brazil, and then he turned up.
R9, yeah.
Oh, Barcelona
first,
R9, crazy.
R9 is the first commercial football superstar.
No, Pele was.
No, but I wouldn't call that commercial. He didn't have like a brand with like all these like football boots and all these things that were like named after him.
Oh, in terms of that stuff, but in terms of,
do you get what I mean? Like he was like he was the biggest commercials. He was the first big commercial superstar in football. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he became an actual brand. Like the R9 brand is what started Beckham and all this other stuff afterwards. Before that, there were people who were superstars, but they weren't a brand like Ronaldo. Ronaldo became a brand. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, bro, trust me, he made people fall in love with football. Trust me. Ronaldo and R9 was also more clinical than Adriano. Adriano was a bad boy, but he weren't more clinical than R9. Yeah. No way,
R9
bro.
R9 is actually the most clinical striker I've seen in my life. But shout out to Vesterveld. We had Vesterveld on the channel, and he says he's the only striker I faced I didn't know what he was going to do, and the ball always ended up in the net. Like,
it's crazy, bro.
You didn't know how he was going to score the goal. 9 times out of 10, you knew if he was one-on-one, he was going to round the keeper, but you still didn't know how he was going to do it.
R9 was such a brand. Someone just said it's so true. R9 was such a brand that there was a conflict between Nike and Brazil because he wasn't fit to play in that game. And he was kind of not forced, but like he had to play a game. He wasn't even like fit to play. You see how like everybody's so like careful nowadays with like concussions and like all these things that are around like player health and stuff like that. It wasn't really like that back then. Cal, can you imagine if they tried to get R9 to play in that game now after man had a seizure in the morning, bro?
That'd be impossible. I mean,
like, do you get what I'm saying?
Like, they'd have probably just covered it up, bro. Let's be honest.
Do you think so?
But this era of corruption,
bro. That's serious. Bro.
This era of corruption, bro. Come on now. Jay's talking about talented defenders. Again, if you heard my actual words, guys, I said the most talented attacker or the best attacker of all time is Messi. I always say this. I don't like saying he's the greatest footballer of all time when you got defenders, goalkeepers, and midfielders because they all do a different job. He's the best attacking player of all time, in my opinion.
That's where it gets very sticky, in it, Cal? Because like, what do you consider? Messi to Buffon? Yeah, but then it's one of those things where, and it's not even to be disingenuous to any other role in the team, but because scoring goals is the aim of the game, it almost naturally becomes the best person at being able to do that is the best player. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. But what do we always say? Goals win your games, goalkeepers win your leagues, or defenses win your leagues. Like
unless the player was someone like Messi or R9, and then it's like.
I look at someone like a Van Dijk. You got Nesta. You got Maldini. Like, bro, Maldini sits at the table with some of the greatest of all time. But you can't compare.
You know what? It's a tough one. And again, I don't want to be disingenuous to defenders and goalkeepers and stuff like that. But I do believe that you naturally just lean towards being a better footballer is more about what you can do with the ball than without the ball. All of the other stuff becomes tactical, in my opinion. So, like, it's a very grey area argument, but I still believe being the best footballer, it has to have a lot more to do with what you can do with the ball.
But you're
if you're just talking about being a footballer.
But then you've got to speak about players like Iniesta, Xavi, Zidane. Bruv,
yeah.
Someone like Seedorf, bro. Bruv, Seedorf could defend, attack, dictate a game.
Of course, but that's because of what they could do with the ball. That's what I'm saying. They were still exceptionally talented with the ball. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So somebody like, I don't know, Van Dijk, for example, as sensational as he is at defending, I don't think you could ever call him the best player because he still always has that asterisk over by how you're not as good with the ball as Hazard and Messi and you get what I mean? So like,
Van Dijk was the best player in the world, without doubt. He was.
Across the season, yes.
Because he
but,
did his job better than anyone else did their job. Because
yeah, remember, if you're talking about the best player, you wouldn't talk about a season, would you? You just talk about overall.
No, but
you wouldn't just go on one individual season. You talk about overall, wouldn't it?
You talk about someone like Hazard, and again, yeah, there's certain things that Van Dijk could never do that Hazard does. But there's certain things that Hazard could never do that Van Dijk can do. But we forget about what the defender can do as opposed to the attacker. But we always say, oh, the attacker can do this. So I don't think it's ever genuine. Hence why I think it's got to be categorized. Bro, we've seen us have some of the best attacking players in this country. But we've had dead goalkeepers and dead defenders, and we ain't won nothing. When did we win?
No, but that's a game. Yeah, because it's a team game, innit? But like, could you defending and goalkeeping is about prevention, whereas for the most part, midfield and attack is about productivity.
Yeah, but you can have all the productivity in the world, but if you've got a hole in the basket, bro, it ain't gonna carry the water.
No, I get that, but like, surely we could never have a conversation where we sit down and we go, Neuer is a better footballer than Deco, as an example. Like, I'm trying to think someone who was great, but we couldn't really ever have that conversation, could we? Like,
no, because they're two different positions. But if I was to break it down and say who did their job better over the course of their career, Neuer did his job better than Deco did his job. Therefore, you could argue.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if I said to you, who's a better baller, who's a better footballer, you can't really ever pick Neuer.
But that's because you're thinking of one aspect of football, though. You're thinking about the ball at his feet, doing something with the ball at his feet. But football's not just.
But that's what football is essentially, though.
No, that's not just what football is. That's what football is to you, bro. That's not just what football is, though.
No, not like it's the be on and end all, but like it's 70% of what football is. Like, you can play football, and goalkeepers are gonna go mad at me for this because this is not what I mean. But like, we can go to the park and play football without a goalkeeper.
Yeah, but you can't do that in the professional game.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is football at its essence is just man them in the park. The professional levels where it's just got, but football in its essence is man them in the park, kicking, having fun. Like,
you though, bro.
That's football at its core. We can't always just associate football to professionals because that's unfair. Everybody loves playing football. Do you know what I mean? So like, football at its core is just man them growing up kicking ball. You can play football without a goalkeeper. You can play football without defenders, but you can't play football without scoring a goal. There's no point playing football if you're not trying to score a goal. I'm just saying.
True, but someone's got to keep the goals out as well, bro.
Someone's
got to keep the goals out as well. So ultimately, you might not start with a goalkeeper, but someone's got to play rush goalie, right?
Do you know what? Maybe it is the striker in me talking for real, but like, I just think, and it's not being disingenuous. Goalkeepers are special. They definitely are needed. Defenders are special. They're definitely needed. But I just think if we're just talking about football, who's the best footballer? I always just think, roll the kid the ball and let's see what he can do. Do you get what I mean? And I know goalkeepers and defenders aren't going to be anywhere near as talented as midfielders and strikers at that. So therefore, that's what would naturally just make me always be like, well, it's not even taking the piss out of a defender or goalie. The midfielders and the attackers are just better footballers. But yeah, I don't know.
H says Dom plays like Kurt's used to, timid and passive. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a discussion on Szoboszlai soon, unfortunately. Jay says, how talented is Maldini compared to R9 though? This is the point we're just making. It's impossible to compare. Dara says, which LFC player gave you the most false hype ever? Asaidi and Naby Keita.
Well, good job, Matt's not here.
And Karius. No, not Karius. No.
I was gonna go a little bit left. I would probably say Aquilani's definitely right at the top. I remember how talented he was in Italy, and as devastated as I was that Alonso was leaving, there was a part of me that was like, but you know, if Aquilani actually performs as well as he is, we might not miss Alonso. And I really got like excited about the Aquilani signing, and that ended so badly. Oh my God, that ended so badly. It's unbelievable. But I was really hyped up for Aquilani.
Alberto Moreno.
Yeah, he came with some serious hype, innit?
I thought he was the next Jordi Alba.
And then he scored that goal against Tottenham, and it made it even worse.
Bro, I was like, we done it.
We was onto something, bro.
Bro, I thought we had Jordi Alba reincarnated with more pace and aggression and more goal scoring ability. I thought it was done.
Mad.
That left side was locked up.
Markovic is up there as well. I got told he was the best player in Portugal.
Big up man like Matt. Yeah, those are ones for me.
Benteke's a shout, you know. I actually had a lot of positivity about the Benteke signing, and that just
I didn't.
Yeah.
Ganga Deep says Barca R9, 47 goals in 49 games, all comps. It's insane. But saying that though, Messi has got stats like that as well. That is what I will say. Messi's actually got stats like that.
Yeah. But that was Ronaldo's debut season, bro.
I know. It's wild. It's wild. Jay says Florian Wirtz better than Bernardo at Monaco.
I agree. I said this the other day and I got cooked. So Jay, be careful. You're about to get cooked, bro.
I disagree. I think, shall I tell you what it is when it comes to Bernardo? And I understand, so I don't even get onto people about it. It's very hard to compliment someone who's so dislikable. It's very hard. I struggle with it. When I tell you he's in my top 5 of most disliked players, probably of all time, but I have the football love I have inside me always has to go, that guy's a baller. That guy's just a baller. And if we had him, we would love Bernardo probably. But we don't have
without the racism. I agree. Yeah,
obviously, because I'm hoping one of the boys would have, just punched him up a little bit just to get out of his system. But Bernardo was such a he's such a baller. He's such a baller. Jay, I promise you, bro. Like, I've been on Leverkusen watched this season because of obvious reasons, and Wirtz is a baller. We signed Wirtz tomorrow. By the way, me and Matt were speaking about Wirtz before he got his knee injury. So, brother, when I tell you I rate Wirtz highly, I just think Bernardo is that guy, man. I really do. Think
the only player I've ever hated more than Bernardo Silva is Lee Bowyer.
I forgot about him.
He is the biggest scumbag in the history of football.
I mean, Joey Barton.
Oh, I forgot about Joey Barton.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I forgot about Joey Barton.
Yeah.
I still think Lee Bowyer's worse, but yeah, I forgot about Joey Barton.
No, he's not, bro. No, he's not. Don't forget about what Joey Barton's done, bro.
Yeah, bro, do you know what Lee Bowyer did, bro?
On and off the... Bro... Just look at Joey Barton's rap sheet, bro. It's not pretty.
Maybe you might have to show me a few things that maybe I didn't know, but I'm not gonna lie. Some of the things that like, especially that stuff with that poor Asian guy as well with Lee Bowyer, was scummy, bro. Like,
bro.
But yeah, maybe you'll have to let me in on some of the stuff that did. Yeah, maybe you'll have to let me know. Chemistry. I forgot about Ramos. Real talk, Ramos. Little scumbag as well,
John
bro.
Terry as well.
Yeah.
Dean says,
"Oh yeah, John. Do you know? Flip. Why is there so many scumbags?
Bernardo might actually not be in my top 5. Actually, now I've just done this.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe he's not, bruv, because I'm not even gonna lie. There are some people we're remembering, and it is just wild.
It's very techie. Dean says my 5 most underrated players: Sirigu, baller; Musa Dembele at Tottenham, baller. Ming Sung, Ramirez, Nasri. Name yours, lads, from our era only. Most underrated from our era.
I think Kevin Boateng is underrated.
Yeah.
I think Jermaine Defoe's underrated.
Yes.
I think Kevin Phillips is underrated.
Yep, shout. Wijnaldum.
Yep, Wijnaldum was underrated. I think David Beckham's underrated.
Yep. Shout out to Craig Archibald. Cazorla was a baller.
Cazorla's underrated.
Cazorla was a baller.
Milner's underrated.
Yeah, Milner's there as well. I'm trying to think who else.
Park Ji-sung was underrated. That's a shout out, Mizzy. Still, I think Park was underrated.
I'm gonna say Arbeloa is one of the most underrated players as well.
Yeah, for some reason, Arbeloa doesn't really get any love, does he?
Arbeloa played right back, left back for Liverpool and Real Madrid at the highest levels.
Yeah. There's a lot still, Dean. There is a lot.
Mons is right. Carrick as well. If Carrick played for England, they'd have won something.
Even Harry Kane is underrated.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I'm gonna say outside of our fan base, Gerrard as well.
Facts. Wayne Rooney. I think Rooney's underrated.
Wayne is so underrated. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Andre. We were speaking about Wayne Rooney last night. Bro, Wayne was cold, man.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know something? Yeah. You look. I don't want to start an argument because I know we're wrapping up. I actually think. I actually think Roy Keane is underrated.
He is, yeah.
Everybody seems to think Roy Keane was just a bruiser. Roy Keane was a baller in his younger days, you know.
Yeah. Well, I will say though, Roy Keane wouldn't have survived in today's game because he was allowed to get away with so much.
Nah, but he was intelligent, bro. I think you got to redefine his game. I do, but I think Roy Keane is mad. Because when we have the conversation about Roy Keane and Vieira, people dismiss me for saying that I would prefer Roy Keane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not many people actually have that like understanding of how good Roy Keane actually was. Because of the violent part, I think people just think he was a bruiser and that's all he was. Roy Keane was a baller, you know, serious. I hated him because he was a Man United player, but he was a baller.
Robert Fowler. Oh my goodness. Football gossiper, you're a legend. Ever Banega was a baller.
Yeah,
that's
he is
my type of midfielder there. That is my football gossiper.
Don't you think he got a bit of recognition though?
Who? Ever
you know
Banega?
the year they won the Europa League? Don't you think he kind of did get that people realized he was good?
Ever Banega. But shout out to my boy Josh. We went to school together. I've wanted Ever Banega at Liverpool since the first time I watched him play football. He was so good. I don't know if you remember that game where we drew with Sevilla in the Champions League 3-3. We were winning 3-0 at half time. They came back into that game because of Ever Banega. He controlled that game. Oh, he was such a baller. That's a shout, football gossiper. Such a shout.
Damien Duff's a shout.
Big shout. Marek Hamzik, man like Mons. Hamzik was a baller. Hamzik was a baller.
Dustin hit the nail on the head there. Outside of Liverpool, John Barnes is underrated.
Yeah, above David Villa. I
think David Villa got the ratings, if I'm being honest. Everyone knows David Villa was that guy.
I think David Villa was the best striker in the world at one stage, and I don't think people said it.
When he was at Barca, I think people knew it still. I think they did.
Now 5 each of you most overrated. Where do we start?
I'm just gonna rattle cages with Marwan. I might have to just leave it. It's gonna start an argument.
5 most overrated. Where do I start?
Is Paul Pogba overrated?
Yeah. There's some names I really want to say, but I just can't. I think John Terry
is underrated.
I think Vidic overrated.
I agree with that. I think Saka's overrated.
I think Saka's overrated by Arsenal fans.
Well, that's who I'm talking about. Yeah. Rashford, no, maybe not now. He was overrated.
Rashford's overrated, bro. You got it spot on.
No, but I think they've stopped doing it now, though. I think they've stopped doing it now. I think he's better than a lot of their fans now.
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I think Bruno's overrated. Doku, I think Doku is overrated.
Yeah.
Remember when everybody kind of went mad at me, bro, because I said there's a reason why everybody would have been annoyed if we'd have bought Doku. Because remember when he went City and he was cooking for a couple of weeks and everyone's like, we saw what we could have got him. Yeah. And I was like, guys, if we signed him, nobody would have wanted him.
Yeah, I didn't want him.
Everyone just got caught up in that hype.
Yeah. Havertz, Anthony Martial.
Is Havertz rated, though?
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Anthony Martial's the one.
I can't agree with that one. Still.
I know you can't. He is, though.
I don't think Martial's overrated at all. I think he was so mismanaged. Martial could have been the truth, you know, if Man United weren't in the mud.
Maven says, it's the same with the NBA. I'd say the only sport where good defenders get GOAT shouts, the NFL, only because defense could win a ring without offense. I don't know anything about NFL, so to comment. So I'll have to take your word for it. I don't know the rules or anything, bro. Sadiq says, Bruno and Bernardo born from the same mother. Oh, Sadiq. That caught me off guard. H says, hold on. Yeah. It's not terrible.
Mama Pinkett, you know.
All right, Gakpo just Mama Pinkett at the red table at this point. Harsh H.
Man just saying an observer.
H said Hendo is bare underrated. People think he was just rubbish. Yeah, he is underrated.
Yep, Hendo is underrated.
Shout out to Ben. Steve Finnan was my guy.
Yeah, very underrated.
Jay says, just name a United player, they're all rubbish. that is typical Jay, bro.
Boy. Schweinsteiger was underrated. I agree with that.
Yeah.
He's got the best name ever as well.
Harman underrated as well.
Bastian Schweinsteiger's got to be the best name in football.
It's up there.
Or Juan Raquelme. It's one of those two.
Kili Gonzalez I like as well as a name. I think Kili Gonzalez is kind of sick.
Yeah, that is a good name still. But, you know, at the cost of everybody saying that I'm stupid for not knowing this, is the Raquelme that plays for Atletico related to one?
That's what I wanted to ask someone.
I'm really curious if he's related to him or if it's just random.
Kai says, what is the biggest what if moment if that Mane chance goes in against Man City in 18-19 that was saved on the line by Stones?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Or what if the penalty was given for Everton against Man City when Rodri handballed?
Yeah. In terms of a player, biggest what if player. Oh, I'm going to say Jordan Ibe for Liverpool. What if he was in a place mentally where he could really hone into his talent?
Nah, do you know what my biggest what if will always be is what if Fernando Torres has stayed and played with Suarez?
Yeah, you win. You win. Oh, what if Sturridge wasn't injury prone?
Yeah, that's right.
Harry Kewell
wasn't injury prone. What if Harry Kewell wasn't injury prone? Do you know what was so sensational about Kewell? He didn't need to cut inside to be a left-sided winger, being dangerous. He could actually just pack it from his left foot on the left side. He didn't even need to cut inside, bruv. It was ridiculous.
The pain is too much.
It was ridiculous. I feel sorry for anyone who didn't get a chance to actually watch peak Harry Kewell, because they probably think he's just some dead youth and they can't believe he played for Liverpool.
Sorry, Mons is in his bag tonight. Bojan.
Yeah, he was a real
Bruv, them man said he was more talented than Messi when he broke through.
There was a point where he was actually balling out as well. Still,
ended up at
I remember
Stoke.
that.
M. Mizzy, Diego from Werder Bremen, another baller, War Preds. Diego was a baller. Diego was a
bro. Who is it? I want to give them the credit for just saying it on the what ifs. Someone just said it. I've lost it. They said, what if Jordan Henderson never got that red card against Man City in 13-14?
Yeah.
I think we win the league.
Yeah, we do. And what if Vincent Kompany doesn't score that goal in 18-19 as well?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs still.
Dean says, lastly, legendary status African players this era. Oh, Mane, Salah, Yaya. I'm going to throw Kolo in there as well.
Drogba.
Etu. Essien.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd put. Oh yeah, I was going to say I don't think I'd put Aubameyang in there.
Is Aubameyang a legend? Kind of.
I don't know.
He did get to the peak of his powers and become one of the best players on the planet at one point.
No, but he never played at the highest level at this peak, though, did he?
Nah, he didn't really play Champions League football too much, did he? Kante.
I mean, he played for France, though, to be fair.
That's a technicality, man.
I know, but if we're going to do that, then how many other players are we going to throw in there, bro?
Greatest. I'm saying Ashley Cole, like Rio Ferdinand. I'm just going to start naming them, bro. I don't care, bro. Shameless, bro.
No,
I don't care, bro.
We, in my opinion, have got two of the greatest African players to ever play the game.
Okocha would have been the other generation. Kanu, and they're like the other generation. They're not our generation. You know what? Yeah, it's actually true. Zidane's African. But he's kind of the other generation as well. Like, he's not this generation. Zidane is but yeah, Zidane, he's Algerian, he's African.
He's indeed.
So is Benzema. At Benzema, bro. Benzema's this generation. He's African. I know they don't claim Africa because they played for France, but he's still African by heritage, and I'm sure he's proud of his heritage. So,
Ty says Aurelio Nedved underrated. Aurelio, yes, I don't think Nedved was underrated. He won a Ballon d'Or. Everyone recognized Nedved.
Oh, Nedved is slept on, you know, Cal. That's a good shout from Ty.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah. Nedved is slept on, bro. 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think people know he's good, but I don't people know just how good Nedved actually was.
Big Six Bants, aka Mont, says, what if Pickford never injured VVD? Sorry,
What if that is real talk?
What if Thiago wasn't injury prone when he came to Liverpool?
What if he wasn't injury prone full stop, bro?
Oh yeah, if he wasn't injury prone full stop, then yeah, he might go down as the greatest centre midfielder of all time.
Bro, you know, so on the Nedved thing, Nedved is so good, bro, that he replaced Zidane at Juventus and nobody missed Zidane.
Yeah, and no one knew what foot he played with as well, or what is his dominant.
He was the most ambidextrous. Him and Cazorla, like you didn't even know crosses, corners, shoots, penalties, either foot didn't even matter, bro. Man.
Jay says Curtis Jones is Nigerian and Mbappe's African. Very true.
Yeah,
Mbappe's Cameroonian, isn't he?
Yeah. But a lot of people don't know Ross Barkley's Nigerian.
Yeah. Well, that's the one. What if we bought?
Somebody said, what if Qatar bought Liverpool?
Yeah, but Fekir, man. Fekir. Oh, that one really hurts, you know, still to this day.
Bro, is Seedorf not one of the most underrated players in the history of football?
Absolutely. Not in my book, but absolutely. I'd go as far as saying Seedorf might be the most complete midfielder to ever play the game.
So therefore, he might be the most underrated player in the history of football then. Because nobody believes that. Or nobody realizes that. Yeah, it might be Seedorf. Clarence Seedorf might be the most underrated footballer in the history of football.
I'm not gonna say what if Coutinho didn't leave, because Coutinho would have been a Liverpool legend, but I don't think we would have won a league or Champions League because we wouldn't be able to have that money to reinvest in the squad. That's on the owners, though.
But that's what I was going to say. So that what if would mean we still did everything, but Coutinho was here as well. I think we would have conquered everything.
Oh, bro! If we got Fabinho, Virgil,
Alisson, and Van Dijk.
Alisson, and kept Coutinho. Oh well, you know what's happened. You know what's happening.
It would have been disgusting.
Oh goodness, you know what's happening.
Yeah, it would have been disgusting.
We would have broken 100 points. I know that much. We would have broken 100 points. I would have won league and Champions League together. Yuck.
I've got another big what if. What's that that guy who's injured at the moment that plays for Aston Villa? I've forgotten his name, the defender.
Pau Torres?
No, the
Diego,
the light-skinned guy.
Carlos or Mings? Oh, if Mings.
Mings.
Oh, don't.
No. I'm gonna go even. What if Tyrone Mings just didn't play for Aston Villa?
Wow, that's harsh.
He cost us a league, bro. I think he deserves it.
That is the darkest. Bro, that is the darkest of drifties, bro.
Yeah, bro. Go play for a championship team or something, bro. The man got left in a car park as punishment, bro.
Yeah, Gerrard definitely did that on purpose. Dean says, what if Klopp wasn't a Liverpool manager? Good night. Yeah, we would have been really bad, bro. The Hersman says, George Weah, the best African footballer, full stop. Yeah, probably.
George Weah is slept on.
Fully. Big Six Band says, hear me out. What if we never sold Lovren? It'd have definitely helped us in the season.
Facts.
Yeah. People.
Oh, chemistry. Don't, man. Don't even read it.
Oh,
don't.
Yeah. Part of me still thinks we'd have lost that Chelsea game the way we approached it, though.
No, I don't, because we wouldn't have been chasing, bro, without that. We would have been able to relax. That literally just put so much tension and pressure on the whole situation.
Never have I been as heartbroken as a Liverpool fan as that moment. Literally. I just wanted to reach through the screen and hug him. Like, literally, that's all I wanted to do.
That ruined my nana's 90th birthday. That's how much you know I love Liverpool to have forgiven them for that, because they ruined my nana's 90th birthday.
Ty says, what if we bought Seamal? It'd have been good. We still wouldn't have won the league, though. We didn't have a strong enough team to compete with that United team or the Chelsea team. But, well, people, we're going to wrap up.
I think we just got one more that just come through, bro.
Shimron says, what if R9, R10 was as disciplined as Messi and Cristiano? Then they would have been the two greatest players of all time from an attacking standpoint. Easily.
I think it's a little unfair to put R9 in there, though, because it was injuries, not dedication.
Yeah, I know. His dedication was up and down as well, though, Drew.
But I think it was based on his health.
Maybe.
I don't think it was because he was like Ronaldinho just loved to party and stuff, innit? His one is a bit like, do you know what I mean? But I think R9 was the injuries. I do.
Well, if Callum had a beard, I'd probably be in a poly relationship still. Yeah, on that bombshell, people, if you haven't smashed the like button already, please make sure you do.
Look at him, bro.
What did you say?
Oh man, but nah, people.
No, you know what, Shimron? I'm not even gonna lie. I have to say this, yeah, because like I know, like obviously, like you're just making a joke, but a lot of people don't understand. Ronaldo actually has hyperthyroidism, and he didn't know he had it till he was 29. So he was playing in his career, not understanding what was going on with him and why his weight was fluctuating, and he didn't. And the mad thing is, Cal, he was still balling out with a disease, bro. Yeah. So the reason he's big now is because if anybody knows about hypothyroidism, it's actually a hormonal issue, disease that's very hard to control, and that's the reason why he's like that. It's not because he don't care and he eats a lot and all that stuff. Is trust me, if you actually go and look at young R9 and then you go and look at like 30-year-old R9, even liking food wouldn't make you change that dramatically within that time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So. Yeah.
He says, "Great show, lads. Going through the most in life and relationship, etc. However, I know I won't walk alone with the Kopish community. Much love and respect. I big up yourself, Dean, man. Just keep going strong, brother. Keep going strong. Take each day as it comes, and don't give up, man.
Yeah, man.
100%, brother. And yes, you are fully backed by the community, bro." People, if you haven't smashed that like button already, make sure you do. We are going to sign off now, so make sure you keep the notifications switched on and follow us on social to see when we're going live again and for what we've got coming up during the international break. Before we do sign out, though, here is a word from our sponsors. People, it's been a pleasure tonight, a therapy session. Till we see you on the other side, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish, all right, people. Take care.
Peace.
We're delighted to tell you about one of our newest sponsors at SofaScore. That's right, we've partnered up with the highest rated live score app on Google Play Store and the App Store, so you can access all your football needs at your fingertips. You get live scores and notifications straight to your phone. You can also follow your favorite competition from a choice of 600, yes I said it, 600 tournaments from across the globe. Plus, if you get fed up of us discussing player ratings, you get real-time SofaScore ratings for each player. Not to mention heat maps, you can see where players really affecting the game. Shot maps, where they're taking shots from, where's Nunes going to score from next, attack momentum, and a player's average position. Pause. Follow your favourite players and look through the archives at different historical data as well. People, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and download the SofaScore app, or use the QR code on the screen that you'll see now, and you'll be entered to a prize draw to win a Liverpool shirt of your choice. Once you've downloaded the app, send us a screenshot on social media or to our email, which is teamkopish@gmail.com. Don't delay, download the SofaScore app today.